And welcome to Weekly Affirmations, your end of the week show that's going to be your pick-me-up for the rest of the weekend. We are super excited that you guys are joining us today. Hello, chat. Hello.
Hello.
Hi. And can you go ahead and give us our intro, please?
Oh, I forgot.
Of course.
There's an intro?
Oh, there's an intro. Intro, please. Oh, we might have to sing it ourselves. Okay, we're getting.
At least it's not Star Wars again.
Oh, look who's here!
Oh,
Aranax, Eridings.
Oh, it's a hedgehog.
Alien Knitter. Bam Sam. Ooh, yep, Moxie Girl.
Hey guys.
Terror Trooper.
So many.
Yeah, hello. Hey guys.
Where's my song?
Where is it? Oh my god. It's on the way.
Why? Like a child? Wait, like a child? Did you not find it?
It was hiding. Our
On the
song was
way.
hiding.
The only way you say on the way is like a delivery.
Uh-oh.
What do you? Oh god! What did I do? Oh
Okay.
god!
Do you see how drenched in sweat I am?
Yeah,
I
but
just got here, okay? Don't blame this on me.
Hi, Anna.
Hi.
It's good to see you.
It's good to see you.
Does that mean we're ready?
The Affirmations, a
There
positive
we go.
feel-good
there it
show.
is. Why is
The most positive
I can't
thing
even hear
on
it.
this channel called Hyper Rabbit Power Go. It's
Pretty decent.
Anna, what's going
Now
on?
be positive.
We're positive. I'm stuck in a little box and I am positive.
Yay!
What is
Positivity
going on?
box. I don't know where it should go. Just inside, over and over again.
Hi Philip, hi Hooventruve. Who's that? Oh, Binky. Hey guys, it is good to see you this Friday. In case you are just joining us for the first time, this is Weekly Affirmations. This is a show about indie and freeform RPGs, which is the analog kind, non-digital here, and we are all about the game feels. So this is a positive, happy, sometimes crying show. You can do both at the same time, I promise. But we like talking about, playing, and discovering novel analog gameplay, we'll put it that way. So I am your host, Strix. Many of you already know me, some of you don't. I am a game designer, a gaming academic, so I write peer-reviewed articles on games and psychology mostly, and I'm a diversity and inclusion consultant and activist because I think games are for everybody, and the more people that feel welcome to play, the better. So, we're gonna introduce everybody here in just a second, but you know what we always do? 3 things that we like. So chat, I want to see 3 things that you like today, because what I am sharing is super awesome. So first of all, I really like my dupatta today. I don't know if you can see this, but it's really flowy.
And tie-dye.
And it's tie-dye. It's ombre, as they say. Blue-green. And I'm just in love with it today. I kind of like want to run around the streets and be like, look at me! I just need rain so I can be in Bollywood. So that's super fantastic. I also really, really like apricots. I once ate so many apricots from a neighbor's tree that I barfed. That's how much I like apricots.
Do you still like them?
I do,
Okay.
actually. Just, I've learned my
That's
lesson.
important. Yeah, because that didn't work with
overindulging.
mangoes for me. That was really bad.
Uh-huh,
It was
uh-huh.
never the same.
Yep.
It was never the same.
And the third thing that I like this week is, oh my gosh, I know I've said this before, but I am replaying Ocarina of Time right now, and I just got finished with the Fire Temple, and I really enjoy this particular kind of nostalgia. And my formation is really important to me, and so I'm playing it on my little 3DS. And I'm
Happy
like,
hashtag
this is even
Strix
better
Day.
graphics, and I can pretend
Can
they're
I
always
get an
this way.
affirmation
Yay!
for Bronze to welcome her
So
to
those are my
Weekly
3
Affirmations?
things.
D
Let's see what you
hashtag
guys
let's
have.
sing.
Shrimp tacos, hazelnut coffee, and my suspiciously quiet cat. I like it.
Yeah.
So I would love to introduce the ladies that have joined me today. I don't know who wants to go first. Maybe she should thumb wrestle for
Oh
it.
god damn it. Okay.
Why didn't
Whoa.
it ding us?
It'll come up there. Did it not come up
Nope, it didn't come up there. Okay, so apparently we've had a donation for BronzeGirl getting affirmed. We didn't see it come through, which is why we weren't doing anything. We're not ignoring you. So give us a moment. Who is it from? Yes, please, thank you, do. Alright, so, affirmation time! Yay! What's
I'm
up?
so nervous.
No, it's good. It's a good feeling. Then you have to make the noise.
That's true.
Oh,
Oh, Fithriel likes paper mache, refrigerated watermelon, and dumplings.
Ooh, I like how you
Yeah.
That makes me
It's really important. It's really important.
Oh, here we go.
Happy
There it is.
hashtag Strix Day.
There it is.
Can
So,
I get an
rabbit
affirmation
power.
for
There we
Bronze to
go!
welcome her to
This is so
weekly
weird without sound, you
affirmations?
guys.
We're trying
Hashtag
to hide.
let's
This is
sing.
like a sound deprivation box. It's kind of what it feels like and why it hurts so much. It hurts, yeah, it freaking hurts
Okay,
so much.
So that was from Erdinks.
Can we get
And this
Small
one is
Fry
from
her
Pinky
weekly affirmation
for-
and also an affirmation for Anna Geeks?
You can hear it out there.
So
That's
we
actually
actually
the funny
can't
thing.
hear Friend Computer right now, which is why we're having a hard time with this. We can hear echoes of Friend Computer outside. So the first affirmation was for you, Bronze Girl, from
Okay.
Erdinsk.
I'll leave this open until we go.
Thank you. And I don't know if you've ever had an affirmation before.
What do I do?
So you just sit there and look pretty.
Okay.
Okay. So, ooh, yes.
I like this already.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Yes.
Looking pretty is my forte. I do this all the time.
So, Bronze Girl,
Yeah.
I want to let you know that you are an adorable, cajoling centaur.
There's like magical dingling noises that wind chimes that didn't happen because I knew it wouldn't happen.
We usually follow that with magical wind chimes.
Ah.
Nope, no magical wind
No,
chimes.
no introduction.
But part of the deal is that you actually have to make the sound of whatever your card is
Like
saying.
it's half human anyway.
Like, assuming that centaurs sound different than normal people, isn't that kind of racist?
Well, centaurs are technically a different race than humans.
Well, yeah, but like they're half human, so
There's a half human on the inside, so what if you did get like the horse bits?
Well, so really play to the adorable and controlling part then. You can do it. I believe in you.
okay, so kind of horsey and kind of adorable.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
But like trying to convince someone you're cajoling.
Yeah. Thank you.
Oh! I think that's perfect.
Was I good enough?
Yes, that was
Yes,
really
it
good.
was perfect.
Good
It
job,
was
Bronze
perfect.
Girl.
Fantastic.
I
Next
just
is,
whinnied like a horse. I like the show already.
So D20 Babe says they like sushi, scary stories, and little knitted creatures.
Yeah,
That's
kirigumis,
adorable.
These are the best. I knitted a tiny radish once and threw it at my sister.
A radish?
Yeah, or crocheted, I guess.
Crocheted radish.
Cute.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a little crocheted radish was like this big.
Okay,
And I crocheted an Angry Bird and threw it at my boss.
and we need that. So,
Leave it
we
open!
need the door open. So,
You're done.
okay, good. The next affirmation, which we didn't hear but see, was one from Binky for Small Fry. So, Small Fry, I hope you're having a wonderful Friday, and you are a judicious, whispering platypus.
I also like air conditioning. Oh my god.
We normally have sound, so I can make all my own sounds today.
It's magical wind chimes, I swear, it's like in my
Master
head.
of all trades.
Bronze Girl's like, what is happening?
Why
Where did
Why did I
go
listen
wrong?
to Zach? Why am I here?
How has my life led me to this point right now? So I hope you feel affirmed, Small Fry, and again, you are judicious whispering platypus, which I guess would sound something like, "Say you know what's going on. I'm a platypus. I'm a platypus.
A nature's joke.
Yes, just like that. Just like that.
You haven't heard the best one yet. Maybe we'll get it, but
Oh, you're not talking about the A word.
yeah, I am. But
Oh,
yeah, it's
okay.
fine. Maybe
There's-
maybe it'll happen.
There is a certain creature in the deck that has a very specific sound that overwhelms most people that hear it for the first time.
Mhm.
So we'll
I'm
see if
excited.
we
I hope
It's
Maybe,
mythical. It's
maybe
legendary. Wait, so I guess I'm introducing myself.
Yes,
and saying
you are
three things
introducing
finally.
yourself.
So I'm Steph. I'm an artist. I am on the DFA show, which is after this. I get Smash Mechs and do really cool role play. And then on Mondays, I'm co-hosting VR painting with Zach. So that's really super fun. 3 things that I like. Sounds weird, but I like being judgmental.
go on.
Like,
this isn't the right show.
maybe?
Tell us how that's positive.
I don't know.
I'm listening. I'm open to
Okay.
what that could mean.
Oh, it's not really judgmental, I guess.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Do you mean discerning?
Maybe discerning. Words are really hard today. It's really hot. So yes, I like being discerning.
Yes. Okay.
There you go. There's I'm like
There you
judgmental.
go.
Like that's like the wrong one. That's a word I use when I'm at work, not here. I do love my cat because I come home and she's so angry at me, and all I imagine her saying is, "You're not my real mom." That's every single time that she meows. So I take great joy in that. And then I really love lemons today.
Like just to eat?
No, to add. to most things.
Oh, do you add it to inks?
I haven't tried that. I've done alcohol. That's pretty fun. There's really cool things with watercolor. Yeah, there you go. And that's me not using words correctly.
Yay! Welcome, Stephanie.
Yeah.
We are super glad to have you.
I'm here to talk about things.
Who is this over here? Who is this?
I'm ThatBronzeGirl. I'm a variety caster on Twitch and a comic book enthusiast. And oh yeah, this Monday I'm going to be on Vanquish, which
That's
is kind
awesome.
of cool.
Yeah, that's
and
pretty
I
cool.
host graphic content or co-host graphic content here on Wednesdays.
Is that like the name of the show, or is there actual graphic content that
Both.
you can't name?
Well, it's a comic book show, but
Okay.
we cuss a lot.
Got it.
Mm-hmm.
And unlike this show, we get negative. So, you know, there you have it. And what do I like? I like the little things in life. I like the smell of a freshly opened pack of magic cards.
Oh, yeah.
And you crack it open and you smell it, and it's got that like fresh, that, you know what I'm talking about?
We're not
That
coming back
fresh-
from this.
Yeah.
We're never coming back
So,
from this, yeah.
When I smell that, like that's like, or like when you crack open like a D&D book and you smell slime and it's brand new, it's almost the same smell. I'm pretty sure Wizards of the Coast just like sprays their stuff with cocaine or something. Because I'm addicted. So
Talk
I
fast,
like
Peter, about
that. To continue the vein of pets, I really like my pet hedgehog. Her name is Duncan.
Oh.
She's really round and cute. If any of my
Hyper
friends
round.
are
Oh!
It works now.
Cool, that was a...
Can we get Small Fry
We'll do
her
it this
weekly
way. Okay,
affirmation and also an affirmation for Anna Geeks?
They replayed that one.
It's totally fine.
So,
we are totally
that's-
generous.
I
don't
can
care.
totally get my
So you can get your
affirmation.
affirmation. So this
Oh, God. I'm sweaty.
I am. I told
a
you I was
replay of
sweating.
Vicky's, but
Don't
we're
you
gonna
want
do
to cuddle?
it the
no.
right way. We're gonna do this the right way because we missed out on Anna last time. So this is for Small Fry and Anna. So Anna and Small Fry, you are an agreeable, calculating salamander.
I feel like a salamander. I'm roasting today.
That's nice. That's nice. What is
And-
that?
Yeah,
These are lactose-free, almond-based.
And I bet these help with the salad.
chocolate bonbons.
Can I have one?
Yes. Yes. You could all have some.
Ooh, I got 2 by accident.
Yes, you can have 2.
Okay. Thank you, Anna.
You're welcome.
Okay, let's go. So,
Hi guys.
Anna.
Yeah.
Agreeable calculating salamander. What you got for that one?
This.
Mm-mm.
I'm buying my
You
way
can't
out.
buy your way out.
I
to
can
sound.
totally buy my way out.
Come on.
No.
Come on.
Nom nom nom.
That's an agreeable salamander.
Today it is.
That's not bad.
Pretty good.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye. Give it back, Miss Judgmental. Thank you, Anna.
Fine, I like being brutally honest. Is that a good thing?
Yes,
It is a
can
good
be.
thing.
All things in moderation, including moderation.
Wait, but if you're moderate with your moderation, wouldn't you not be moderate? And then
Sometimes.
you would go overboard.
Sometimes. And that's it.
Well then.
Ooh, this is a resub.
Razavinden? Razavind.
Razavind.
Razavind,
For
thank you
6
for your
months.
resub. That is super awesome.
Raz.
Raz. Anna knows everybody's names.
Jeez.
Oh, Razity Raz. Ooh, look at that's good. So Raz, thank you for your resub. Donations and subscriptions are what keep this show on the air as well as the rest of the channel. So thank you guys so much. And Raz, here's your affirmation for this weekend. You are a radical, beaming chinchilla.
I like want to join in with the wind chime, but I just like have no idea. So I end up just being like,
Just dazzled. It works. It's fine. It's working.
I'll just be the one in awe.
There you go. Oh, senpai.
So notice me sometimes. Strix facts. Strix inherent awesome draws the double chocolates / candies to her when she's picking them out. That's right. All the candies from moi. So radical beaming chinchilla. So I feel like that's almost okay. It's a chinchilla that's smiling and it's radical. So it's like.
Sounds maniacal, not radical.
Well, then what does radical sound like?
I don't know. I just think like surfboard. I don't know.
A chinchilla on a
actually.
surfboard.
Yeah.
So it's like.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Okay.
Have you seen their little tiny toes? They're really cool. They could
Bronze
probably
is so perplexed by the wind chimes. Yeah. I caught myself. Like, I know I get like the deer in the headlights look when I'm on camera and something happens and I'm not ready for it. So every time you do the witch chips, I'm like, what do I do?
So, in case you're wondering what the hell is going on, there are 2 ways to get affirmations on this show from me, as you have now seen demonstrated. One is to donate, and the other is to resubscribe or subscribe. Just like that! Thank you, Rentier, for your resubscription. That is super awesome. I feel like that deserves a little Hyper Rabbit power.
Go! Also, subscription today because it's Friday. You get Free Key Friday.
It is.
So,
Free Key Friday.
not only do you get a key, you get an affirmation and the sound effects.
Well, somebody
apparently.
gets a key.
Somebody gets a
Somebody.
key. Someone gets a key.
Someone in chat.
You can affirm someone else with the key, and you get the affirmation. How's that?
Ooh.
Oh, that's a good one.
There you go.
So this was Rentier, right?
yes.
Okay, so Rentier, you are a cooperative, sparkling phoenix.
I don't know how many times I get to do this.
Every time,
like a lot.
it's
I feel like that also doubles for the phoenix.
The phoenix?
right there.
Yeah,
Yeah. Because it's sparkling
Oh wait,
too.
was that the sound? I heard a sound. I think that was the sound.
It's so hard in here.
We can't hear it!
This is the test in character and like strength of will.
Yep. You are a cooperative, sparkling phoenix. That's really
Cooperative.
adorable. You know, gets along with others. Magic, friendship is magic. Unlike being judgmental.
Hey, we're supposed to be positive.
That's right.
It's
Positive
fine.
judgmental.
It's
Even
fine.
towards judgmental people.
It's fine. It's fine.
So
you invited
Genova-
me back, so it's not too awful,
This is
right?
true. It is great to have you back, actually. Steph was on the show to play Monster Hearts.
That was fun.
This year, and it was great.
That was pretty cool.
Genova Plus asked, did we get an affirmation for QQ yet? We have not, at least as far as I know. Cough, cough. Love to get her in here and make her make weird sounds. That's
Yes.
one of my favorites. So this week on Weekly Affirmations, we are having a roundtable discussion. We've done one of these before, and it went very well. So I'm very excited to have another discussion with you guys. And in case you want to know how this works, we're going to be discussing a topic. The topic is mythology and games. That's a really big topic. It includes archetypes, and it includes tropes, and it includes religion, and it includes psychology. So we are going to let you guys largely steer the conversation today. I have some talking points that I took down from Twitter, that questions have already been asked, and also some things that we probably just want to talk about anyway. In case you're not familiar with my background, I actually went to graduate school and got a degree in mythological studies with an emphasis in Jungian depth psychology, which is really a fancy way of saying, yay, archetypes. And I do a lot of world building consulting and writing in both video games and analog games using myth. So that's my background. These guys are also, I would say, at least semi-experts. Yes, you are.
Okay.
Oh, I'll pretend.
Well,
Where's
at least
my monocle when I need it?
from an
Sort of.
artistic point of view,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
Absolutely.
Kind of a different way of seeing mythologies.
Mhm.
So I wanted, we wanted talking about like myths and monsters.
Rabbit power,
go!
There we go.
Fix it,
Sounds are working.
QQ.
Can we get an affirmation for Fix It QQ? She's been killing it. Hashtag Neonet, hashtag hash brown.
Inside, we can't hear the sounds anyway. Just keep it inside.
Hyper rabbit.
Oh, there it is now.
Oh, nice.
Mythology?
Oh,
Let's put that towards the Zeus hashtag Defa
Nice.
hashtag Evo.
Excellent.
I
So-
like just kind of fly up every time someone sits down because it's like a really airy
Okay, so that was
mattress.
from Aeronox, so we'll get to you in just a second.
Oh yeah, it is. Like I've never really sat on it.
Yeah, and then I kind of like, whoa, okay.
So how's it going? It's going. You feeling good today?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So much character.
Well, we about to make you feel hyper rabbit power.
No!
Oh. So 2?
Affirmation and planning my supervillain comeback on Vanquished. Hashtag Aries, hashtag confirm it.
Nice. So that's for
Whoa.
Merrick, not for QQ.
For what?
It's for Merrick, not
Merrick,
for QQ.
okay.
Yep. So should we just call you QQ from now on? Hyper rabbit power, go! Ooh, nice.
Can I get a group affirmation for Fixmaster Overlord? As technology and Strix herself, because altogether these 4 could rule the world.
I'm gonna just,
That
like,
would be a
keep
very
taking up
fun
space.
and interesting world to live in.
It would be terrifying, I think, but great.
You'd be like the Espers. You know,
Oh,
like you'd be
yeah.
like 4
I mean, to be quite
scions.
honest,
No.
to have like those people rule the world, that's not the bad hand.
It's true. It's true.
But that's what I mean. Like each of you would be like, you know, a paragon of like a different thing, especially because you know, Overlord is like
Chaos.
Would be like the embodiment of like evil and hatred.
Immediately, not even like gentle,
It's like
just
the
evil.
Like
When I was-
negativity, and would be
Like
the
the
beacon
two-
of positivity. You know?
Light.
The two main
goodness.
gods, which was like the dark and light god, but like the chaos god necessarily wasn't evil, he was just chaos.
That's
and
true.
It was, like,
Yeah,
That's true. Oh, Final Fantasy IX Master, we are so going to talk about Smite. We're so going to talk about Smite.
Mhm.
Okay.
Oh,
so,
yeah,
are you
lots
ready
of,
for this? Yeah, I've. Oh yeah, it's coming. So, my dear QQ, you are an inquisitive, clarifying goo.
There it is.
that's the
There it
sound.
is. See?
Hyper Rapid Power Go!
This happens so much on this show.
Yeah.
It's so great.
Unfortunately, you guys missed my resub at the beginning. So maybe I can get one this time around.
Of course.
Also, here's your chance to join in on that wind chime. Bronze, less than 3U3.
Thanks, Joe.
Thank you.
Thanks. The best.
That's super great. Okay, so before you're off the hook,
yes.
clarifying goo. Let's see what you get.
Who doesn't make sense?
I like that.
I wish you could see
clarifying.
your expression.
Yeah.
Can you do that at the camera?
Yeah.
I really liked that.
Yeah.
That was good. That was
Just the
really
head shit
good.
was
Being clarifying. I was like,
clarifying, but also like, are we really like
inquisitive.
Yeah, no, I like
Perfect.
that.
It
That
was
was
like-
I was like
I really
really
think
impressed.
Goo, like gak, the gak sound. I can't
Yeah.
Yeah,
believe that.
that's like party sounds.
But that's
true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
good.
Thank you.
No problem.
I'm sure we'll see you again soon.
Yeah, probably.
I would have been lost with Goo, but you worked it.
What was my last one? Oh, Anteater.
It was.
Oh, you got that
You got
one.
the anteater.
Oh, lucky.
Actually, it was really weird because we were on the same page on Anteater.
Oh really?
Oh.
Hyper Rapid Power Go!
Oh, one was for QQ too.
One was for me, one was for QQ, rest was for anyone.
Got it. Okay, we'll get there.
There's a really long list
It's
right
not that
now.
long. So the next one
There's
is
a lot of
for.
people.
I need to see that. Aeronox. So Aeronox, thank you for your. Yeah, you just hang out here. Thank you for your donation. We really appreciate it. And you are quiet, accepting gargoyle. Quiet, accepting gargoyle. So I feel like it's one of those gargoyles that's on the ledge and he's just like,
But it's a quiet, it's a nice gravel
yeah,
layer.
just like. There we go. You enjoyed this.
No.
I'm amused.
It's like the
by
old
your
owl in
body
Ocarina of
language.
Time, but like a stone
It's
version.
like bringing out my inner child that I didn't know was there.
that you buried away, T.
Welcome to
back.
Inner
Locked in the
Child
closet.
Central.
All good
10
words
years
to
ago.
that animal.
I know.
Yeah.
Okay, so the next one was from Merrick, and it was for Merrick, QQ, and everybody else. So this affirmation is for Merrick, for all of chat. So that is all of you guys, and Miss QQ. So everybody, you are victorious, analyzing lions.
It's like rejuvenating these wind chimes.
I also put the final thing in the COC remix on because I felt like that was
Yeah.
appropriate.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I feel like a victorious analyzing lion would be like a lion with one of those green visors who's like a CPA and he's just like, yep, we're in the black. Ho ho! Ho
Oh, so that's your lion.
ho!
But more growly.
Ho ho! Ho ho ho! Okay, I'm done.
He probably has a lot of kids to support, so
Yes.
All the
running in
cubs.
the black must be like a really good thing.
Thank you, Emily. You'll be back, I'm sure. Wait, did I just call you Emily? I'm sorry, Laura. It's because I'm used to Emily coming in here. And names. We talked about
That's
this.
the first time I've ever heard of
You ding ding, I'll
true.
throw the wine.
Yeah. And I even forewarned you that would happen.
So that I'm not
There we
even
go.
mad, but I was just like, that's why I just stared at you like.
It is Laura.
That's just like the next thing you're supposed to do. I don't know. Sorry.
Alright, get out of here.
So now Steph has an official job, and that's to ring the bell, and I throw the wine, and we both say shame.
That just you said was like the next step. I'm sorry.
I have serious problems remembering names. Serious
No,
problems.
totally. Yeah, me too, dude. Oh my god.
Okay, I can't read your handwriting. What is this one?
Your hair is so big today.
Terror Trooper.
Terror Trooper for
FF9 Master.
Oh, and for
Overlord
me.
as technology.
Hyper Rapid Power Go!
Yay!
Please affirm Negahama #game feels #cookies #set or #crub.
Excellent. So the next one is from Terror Trooper, and it's for Final Fantasy IX Master, and for Overlord, and for moi, which is kind of nice. So we are, ooh yes, glamorous, trusting pythons.
Dude, they're so cute. Have you ever seen like a python periscope? They just kind of
They're just like,
that
"Hello."
like just snakes and periscoping and vines. It's
Mhm.
stupid. It's stupid, but it's really cute.
We do actually get
Snakes are
to
awesome.
content on the show eventually,
Yeah.
so we'll get there.
This
We'll
is
get
normal.
there.
This is really normal.
I
Yeah,
love it.
Yeah,
I think
and it's
affirmations
wonderful.
are great. We could do this all
It's
show.
good hair, Bronze. Thank you.
And I'll be happy. Yes. Okay.
Oh wow.
So
oh my god.
what does this mean?
Joe trip for themselves.
Joe Trip. Okay. Yes, that's right. So Joe Trip, sorry we missed your affirmation at the beginning of the show. We were having technical difficulties, but I think you'll really like this one. So, Joe Trip, you are an incendiary, yearning chupacabra.
Kinda cool.
What sound would a chupacabra make?
Well, we're not really sure what a chupacabra is.
Yeah.
It's just a thing that sucks blood and maybe is involved with cows and goats. And it's incendiary and it's yearning. So I bet it'd be like
the blood of goats.
Like that.
Yeah,
This is
that's
like,
good.
this is like
That's
a weird
pretty
like
good.
sucking sound.
Yeah.
perfect. There we go. We have the chupacabra
You're welcome.
sounds.
You're welcome.
I eat goats in a sexy way. is what I covered. You know what, Joe? More power to you, man. I mean, eating goats, that's just whatever. Eating goats in a sexy way,
Not
that's a
everyone
skill.
can
This
do
is
that.
super skill.
That is
You are
a learned
majestic.
majestic.
I love this show. Okay, the next one we have is from 4M Critter, and it is for Negahama.
Hey, which Nikki?
What do we do? Joe's here. What do we do?
Nikki Hama's
okay?
outside, right?
What's up? Yeah. Oh,
Hey,
yeah.
Nikki Hama, come inside!
Yes. Please. Please.
That was
join
my
us.
nice voice. I just yell at everybody.
Please?
Sorry.
Negahama. Negahama. Go grab Negahama. Steph is a raven. Hyper Rapid Power Go! Oh God! Hey, I did it for you since you're the one who usually
Speaking of
face
Emily,
text the
let's
mic.
get an affirmation for our side eye. #Neonite, #affirmation, Marathon Browns.
Excellent. Hi.
Hi.
Welcome. Have we actually met?
No, I'm Negahama.
I'm Strix.
Or Alex.
It's so nice to meet you, Negahama Alex.
But I'm one of their mods.
Uh-huh.
Just up here visiting friends all over the area.
You're one of the mods.
I'm one of the mods.
That's so awesome. Thank you for all of your hard work.
No problem. Thank you for entertaining programming.
Yeah. We try. Sometimes we don't succeed, but you know, most of the time.
Whoa, judgmental. Yeah, I can see
Of
where that
myself,
failed. Yeah.
That's okay. So, Negahama / Alex. Are you ready for your affirmation?
I am.
Excellent. So you are a wily, prancing tanuki.
Uh-oh.
I was waiting for the wind tap.
Right?
There we go.
There we go.
got it.
What is
Oh, which is fantastic because you totally embody a wily, prancing tanuki.
I enjoy the Tanuki, especially in the Super Mario game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do us a favor.
Okay.
Tell us what this tanuki sounds like.
If I could remember what a red panda sounds like, I would go with the red panda
You could
scream.
just squeak a lot.
That's like that screaming noise when it falls.
That sounded like a raptor, but I like
Okay,
it.
we're-
That's great. That is a fantastic sound. I now know what a tanuki
Raptors
sounds
prance
like.
too. I don't see what the.
Thank you so much, Negahama,
No
and thank
problem.
you again for all your hard work. Have a
Awesome.
great weekend.
Enjoy the rest of the show.
Mods, the real heroes of chat.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
100%.
How did he get out of his cage?
Very
Someone
carefully.
left the key in, so
Oh.
Very, very carefully.
yeah.
And then we had one more from Genova Plus for Emily.
Emily. I think
Emily.
she's out eating.
I think she might be out of the studio right now. But someone, yes,
Oh my god.
someone can definitely tweet this to her because
Yeah,
this
please.
is one of our new cards. This is the one that Sally added.
Of course. Yeah.
Sally added this card. So, Emily, if you're watching, you are a rambunctious, cackling shaggoth. Just imagine this giant
You should have faced the
monster.
wind chime sound with that.
Yeah.
Because that was pretty
The
great.
elder wind chimes, the
Yeah.
elder chimes.
So yeah, this is not the first elder god we ran across in Steph. Lisa from Chisley Wizzly. Thank you so much.
6 months, basically.
Damn.
Getting serious now.
Chisley Wizzly,
It's now
you are
official.
super awesome. And you get an affirmation for that, of course. So, Chisley Wizzly, to start off your weekend, I wanted to let you know you are a warm, amusing leprechaun.
I imagine Rai Rai.
And his little
His little jig, his amazing jig.
So if Rai Rai gets an affirmation, which I hope he does while you're here, he has a special affirmation jig. We replace the wind chimes, and he gets jig music.
Or he just stumbles in and walks around.
Somebody
and
make this happen.
Make it happen.
Yeah.
I want
Make
to
it
see
so.
a jig.
Make it so.
Okay, so in case you're just joining us, this is Weekly Affirmations, a show about Indian freeform RPGs. Today we're having a roundtable discussion on mythology and games and comics and basically media and myth and how they mix together. You can tweet us throughout the show using the hashtag GameFeels. We will be answering questions either in chat or from Twitter, however you want to do it. Chat's probably better because that's more immediate. But
Incoming 40 gigs.
Hi, Chisley Wizzly. But you can also just do it through Twitter, and we will check Twitter halfway through the show and at the end of the show as well. So you can use the hashtag GameFeels with a Z to affirm each other, to talk about the show, to talk to us. We like reading them out because they're usually fun. You can tag fan art there. So we also love fan art. So that is the hashtag GameFeels and what it gets used for. And then throughout the show, you can donate or subscribe to get your own awesome affirmation for yourself, or if you're feeling cool, for someone else. As we have demonstrated, we will make funny animal sounds.
Rai Rai
at no
only
expense.
owns jorts. I don't think you understand. Like, it's just like my entire wardrobe is mostly black. Like, it's the portal to darkness. He wears only jorts.
You should combine like Voltron
I think they're cute.
and become
No, it's great. No, it's fine. There's nothing wrong with them. It's just like wearing his jorts again. It's like, yes, again, forever, to the end of time.
picking on Rai
edgy black jorts would be cool for
They
him,
would be
though.
they'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
Might be like form of, and then just into a mega being with Rai Rai and wear
Oh my
black
God.
jorts. To wear black jorts as a mega being.
It's a mega beam. It would give
Some
me
people
powers.
turn into giant mechs, but I mean, black jorts is a pretty cool.
That's
type of
fine.
place.
That's okay. That's fine. That's fine.
Okay, so we should probably get talking. It is already, you guys did well. 3:37.
Yeah.
So today we're discussing myth and games, and I have some talking points here, but I'd also love for you to start us off with some questions that you might have about myth and gaming. And I'll start us off by sort of grounding us in what we mean by myth. So myths are archetypal narratives. They're narratives with patterns in them that have been around as long as we have been telling stories. Hyper Rabbit, there you go!
I get the jig.
Yes!
Briary jig is important. Start the non-stop dancing.
Oh boy,
my
thank you,
gosh.
Mark. That's so awesome. So if we can get Rai Rai in here. Yes.
Oh, you have jorts! Oh, wow!
I could go change into them.
It's
I have a knife somewhere. I can cut
There's
them
also
off
not
for you.
space for me, so
Can
I
you
just-
jig like back
I'll just
here?
jig behind you guys.
Yeah.
Man,
So-
my parents are gonna be so proud when they hear about the way that I'm making money.
Isn't it great?
Dancing on the internet.
All right, we'll lower it so you
Okay,
can get
there we
get
go.
the full jig.
There we go.
Oh, wait, cue the music.
No, we gotta affirm you first.
sorry.
Remember? Okay, so Ryan,
Yes.
you are a flamboyant, admiring kitsune. Oh, there it
Oh
is.
shit.
Cool.
That's my
That is
kitsune.
excellent. That is an excellent kitsune. Thank you
Warm
so
and
much,
beautiful.
Ryan.
So warm and
Thank you very much.
It's from Mark.
Thank you, Mark. Sort of. And now, how do we fix this? Oh,
You
no.
did it. You.
Oh no!
What?
I broke it. I'm
He's
sorry,
breaking our
Steph. Can you
furniture.
lean forward a little bit? Or can you lean the other? Oh, there we go. No.
Just
All right, hold on. Can you get off the couch real quick? I'm gonna fix this. I swear, I'm totally
Ryan's breaking
derailing
my
this.
show.
This is a
Broke our
really
couch.
great show that Ryan is derailing. Oh no. There it is.
There it is.
Okay.
You got it.
Okay, wait. Can you get out now?
Good thing I'm skinny.
Okay, that was so
did not
worth
headbutt
it.
that mic this time.
I'm actually impressed. I was waiting for it.
Yeah. No.
We
thanks,
have a
thanks.
history of knocking
Yeah.
mics on the show.
I was gonna face plant it. I'm going to.
Everything is going according to plan.
It's fine.
All of that was
Everything's
planned.
fine.
I show affection via headbutting, so it's fine. I love you, microphone. Smash.
Everything's fine.
Joe, fix it.
Mythological
Joe's supposed to
theme.
fix everything.
Okay, so we might have missed one of the earlier questions simply because Ryan was spazzing and our heads were turned this way away from chat.
Everything
So
was
feel free
broken.
to repaste that. That's fine.
Oh, I like that one.
But
What
yeah,
is
it's
your
your
favorite game that included a mythological theme?
What does mythological theme mean?
Oh, you were discussing that. So you were talking about what myths were.
I was
Right thing happened.
when that happened.
When his jig just completely obliterated your thoughtful and sweet remarks.
That is okay. I like you. She called me thoughtful and sweet. Or rather, my marks are thoughtful and sweet, but that's close enough. So, we'll get to that question from Baron Tor in just a second. What is your game that includes mythological theme? Your favorite game that includes a mythological theme? So when we're Hyper Rabbit Power Go!
Oh god.
It is totally fine.
Ryrie again. Poor Strix.
He said yay. I heard it. He was so enthused. There's so much happiness about to come into this room.
Ryan! You.
Oh!
Is he changing to his jorts?
Either he's changing into his jorts or he is yelling at us from the bathroom. I'm not really sure which one
Wow,
it
that's
is.
really long. Or finishing an email. I don't know.
Or finishing an email.
There you go.
So while we're waiting for Ryan, we will try to continue to talk about what myth is and then talk about our favorite mythic theme in a game. So myth is narrative that has a structure that speaks to deeper archetypes, which we recognize as people because we understand these patterns when we come across them, whether we've been trained in it or not.
Oh my god.
Oh god!
I was right about the jorts!
Come on, Ryan, try not to break the couch
All
this
right.
time.
I don't know if it's worth going behind the couch, is it?
Can you can come in here.
All right. I'll just come in the middle
Yeah.
with the jorts.
So, Ryan, this is from Mark.
From Mark.
He wants you to have a really good day.
It's getting better.
And he wants you to know
You're in your jorts now. Of course it's getting better.
that, Ryan, you are a comely, gliding chipmunk.
Oh god.
Once more unto the breach, dear friends, once more. Missed last few weeks of affirmations, but here now, happy face. Hash set or dash crook more APCs for the runners.
Excellent. That's so great. Thank you, Ryan.
Thank you,
You're off the hook.
Mark. I don't have any more clothing options than this guy's, so
The jorts
this is
fine.
it. This is it. All right.
All right.
Jorts are back. That's all that's important.
So that was Corbin, who is
couch is
Oh my god, I,
Our
was like,
raven
I
friend.
keep finding like really random like spots to roll off this.
Can we get an affirmation for the couch? I'm glad it survived its encounters with Rai and his jorts. Hashtag Neonet, hashtag last one I promise, hashtag Jort Browns.
So the couch will be affirmed in a moment. But first, Corbin, it is so good to see you again. I don't know if you know this, but Corbin and I have this thing together, this mutual attraction towards ravens.
Oh yeah.
Which I thought you would be cool.
That little
into.
raven on the little, yeah, that was
Yeah.
perfect. Have you seen the ones where they like do little somersaults off the cars?
Yes, I
So
have.
cute.
They're adorable.
They just put their heads on the ground and just push themselves over and they just do cartwheels. Or like somersaults, I guess.
Cute.
Yep, so the ravens are overlords, just so we're clear here. And Corbin, you are an eager, bolting steed. There we go, I don't have to do it myself.
That was a very horsey jump. Very in theme.
An eager, bolting steed. So I'm guessing it's like a horse who's like, ha-ha, aha, 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 only in
This
horse.
couch will help you with that.
Yeah.
Dancing, yeah.
Because
Yeah.
it's
So
very
it's
bouncy.
Don't read into that, please. I just realized that.
I was gonna say something.
Yep,
but
no,
now I won't.
As soon as it was out of my mouth.
Artemis.
Hyper Rabbit Power, go!
T3 Rare Trooper affirmation, the amazing man.
So that is from Mark to Terror Trooper, but first we gotta affirm this couch. So, couch. You are a calm, cunning sugar glider. A calm, cunning sugar glider. I actually know what sugar gliders sound like.
Yeah?
Yes, I do. My ex used to have a sugar glider as a pet.
Oh.
And they're actually kind of like cats. They'll bond to like one person, and then they'll be like, you're not my person. And then they'll make this really alarming sound. It's like a bezoring sound. So it's like this vibrating like
Oh, wow.
And
Oh, wow.
obviously the sugar gliders didn't like me very
adorable.
much,
Hey, Miss Cashew.
but they are adorable. So you are calm, cunning. Okay, the next one is from Mark for Terror Trooper. Oh, thank you, Gemelo TV, for hearting. We appreciate it. Okay, Terror Trooper, let's see what we got. Yes. Yes, Terror Trooper.
Wow.
That's a good one.
Terror Trooper, you are a svelte, wandering sea lion. So a svelte wandering sea lion, I feel like would be like, "Aurora, aurora, 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 aurora."
In the wandering part, though, so it's just like, this kind of just keeps flopping over.
Yes.
Yeah.
So there you go. I hope that you appreciated that because I really
That
had to
was
pull
amazing.
Special. All these special moments.
that of me making an utter fool out of
Strix.
myself. Yes, no, I was a PhD candidate.
This is what happens after. You find yourself after. That's what it is. Not in college. It was like, you find yourself in college. I'm like, no, you don't. You find yourself after.
It's true. You do. So, myth and games, and what our favorite mythological structure in a game is. So, myths are stories we tell ourselves about ourselves in order to understand who we are, and they use a psychological shorthand called archetypes to do that, because we all understand them. I managed to say that in one sentence. Yay! So, we would love, again, for you to give us questions to talk about this topic, but the first one we're going to start out with is, what is your favorite mythological theme used in a game? And we've had some time to think about this, so I don't know if one of you wants to go first.
I have like two.
Yeah.
One of them I'm like really attached to. So I have one tattoo, and it's of this game. This game holds the record of being the game of the year to sell the fewest copies.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's like a little bit of a cult classic. And I was talking to you about it yesterday, so this is why it really makes me happy. So you already know it's coming. Okami.
Yeah.
Oh, tell us about it.
Okami stars this goddess Amaterasu who takes the form of a white wolf and basically saves the world. And I really loved it because of the art style, and I loved it because you get to see these other different animals also as gods, and they're all like, they all lend you their power, and they teach you their brush strokes, which unlocks different abilities for you as you go through the game. So it's more of like an experience than it is like just like playing through a game. You're not just kind of mindlessly bashing things.
Oh, we like that here.
Yeah. And I was actually talking to Steph about it, a couple days ago, because I was saying for me, what I connected with it is when I was studying Sikhism when I lived in India, because I'm from a Sikh family, and so I went to like a really religious school and stuff, and we actually have a poem called Chandi Divar, which is like a story of the goddess Durga, who like is a mother and is typically a very like loving and motherly goddess, and instead she dons the form of like kind of what they consider like a witch, and she enters like the arena and kills like 300 demons. And so it's super cool to see her like in her sort of battle form, like ride into battle like on a lion. And so I kind of like that because that's kind of the premise of Okami too. You have like kind of the mother or whatever who dons the form of a white wolf and like slays bitches.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah. So I like that one. But the other one I was gonna mention that we were talking about yesterday too was Shadow of the Colossus.
Oh yeah, I was gonna name that one. So I like Shadow of the Colossus because I'm not so sure about archetypes, so maybe you can fill in the words for this one. But what I like about it is that it uses monsters So I believe that myths use monsters in order to compartmentalize our humanity, and that each facet is used for us to understand. So whatever happens to these monsters, whether you enslave them, whether you make them your companions, whether you kill them, it is you learning how to accept that side of yourself. So with Shadow of the Colossus, it was really cool because you had these mystical beasts that weren't good or evil, like they were defending themselves, right? They're you just know that they're massive and they're mystical, and you're just like, go kill it. And so there's people who literally did not kill them, and it was like, I'm done with the game, and they didn't play it. They stopped playing, they went and watched other people do it, but they could not themselves go kill the Colossi. And the other people were like, yeah, I can do it. And like each one you kill, you slowly start accepting your dark destiny, and then you become it, you come out of it, I guess, out of that abyss, and you own up and you pay for what you did. But you each one, you do it and you feel it. You can feel their deaths, and you know, you can't not know what you're doing. There's no way you can ignore it. And so by killing these monsters, you've accepted your dark side. You're like, this is what I'm gonna do. And game or not, like, maybe, yeah, it's part of the game, but it's also that experience. Like, you have to realize that this is kind of what they needed you to experience, that you will go against every ounce of your nature and just go down the dark path, you know?
Yeah.
As that experience.
So I've thoughts to share on that as well myself. So with Shadow of the Colossus, what Steph pointed out was actually really key in that these are representations of darker parts of the psyche and self. And so when you're killing that Colossus and you're accepting it into your own personality, there's actually a word for this in psychology.
Yeah.
It's called integration. And integration is when you take those compartmentalized pieces of yourself and you say, okay, and you say, this is me, and I'm gonna work it into who I really am all the time. And Jungians love integration. They talk about it all the time. But it's definitely like a phenomenon that's been recognized in psychology, where even if you're doing it through the vehicle of a game, you're still doing it, right?
Yeah.
So that's why I really like games. I think they're powerful tools, and I think that they can also be fun at the same time. They don't have to be one or the other. And, you know, this is why I'm sort of devoted to this craft of storytelling and narrative through gaming, because I think that it is really powerful, and it's interactive in a way that other fictions aren't.
Yeah.
So movies are a billion-dollar industry, right? Comic books and novels, they're all trying to get at the same thing that gaming is. But the thing about gaming is you're actually making choices and investing and shaping part of the narrative, so you have more buy-in. So for me personally, I think it's a more powerful tool most of the time.
Oh yeah. Yeah, no, it's emotional. So I'm a big fan of Dark Souls, and I feel like there's really strong mythological themes in that game, and I feel like it's famous for the difficulty level, but I feel like the storytelling often gets ignored, or kind of it doesn't get the attention I think it deserves. And I had a moment when I was streaming the game, and it's like you were talking about, you have to fight this beautiful big wolf named Sif, and she carries her master's sword in her mouth. And as you're fighting her, she's the only boss in the game that actually gets slower and starts limping as you're fighting her.
Oh, wow.
And she's actually fighting your character because she's trying to prevent you from going down the same dark path that her master went down.
Oh, no.
So she literally takes up her master's sword and she's fighting you. And not only did I like tear up during it, I had to like put my controller down, just be like, I don't think I can do this. Like, it was really tough for me. But I think that that's what's important about gaming, is it puts you in that sort of driver's
to experience
seat.
it, yeah.
To I guess it just puts the onus on you, I guess. You can't just sit back and watch it happen. It's the choices in your hands, and sometimes that can be kind of painful.
Let's talk about Papa Iyo,
introspective.
In that game, Papa Iyo, I've seen parts, some of it, or it's as a game and you're running from a monster, and you start to realize as you keep going that, oh, this is a kid coming to terms with the traumatic effects of abuse from his alcoholic father.
Oh,
No?
wow.
Yeah, Papa Iyo is a very, very interesting indie game.
Yeah.
I haven't had the chance to play it yet, but it's
neither,
definitely been on my radar. And here's the other thing about this is you may not be ready for a certain kind of content, just depending on where you are in your life, and that is okay. So a game like Papa Iyo, which deals with subjects of abuse, which can be very hard, can be really cathartic for some people, and that is great. But if you also know, like, you're not gonna have a good time, it is okay to not play that game.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not all games are for everybody all the time, right? There are games that I can pick up and play now that I would not have played earlier in my life, and there are games I know for sure that I'm gonna play later on that I'm like, looking at right now, and I'm just not interested in. And that is okay. I think gaming is a nascent art form, and so we're starting to understand sort of the cultural rules around games, and they are very nascent too. And so we like to think of games as just kind of like FPSs. FPSs are great, but there can be very many other shades of gaming along with that experience. And so gaming's for integration or gaming's for exploration of a certain kind of narrative means that you're not going to play it at a certain time, but you might play it at a different time. And I think as we become more nuanced in our understanding of games, we'll get more agile at doing that as well. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, so I was watching your stream of Walking Dead, and so like there's a lot of like just murder that happens, and I had a really vivid dream once, a crazy zombie dream where I had to like survive, and actually I remember killing someone in my dream.
Hyper rabbit
And right there. Perfect timing.
Okay, Strix, last one. Ryrie, dance, monkey dance. Also be amazing.
I feel like this is starting to be abuse of the system here.
I feel like there should be a limit.
I mean, it's for the good of the show. The good of the show.
You'll like this one though.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
So
I
Ryan,
really love it.
I bet you can guess who this is from.
Oh, is it from Merrick?
It's from Merrick.
Oh, what a surprise.
And Merrick just wants you to feel really affirmed this week, apparently.
All right.
Really affirmed.
Thank you, Merrick, for helping me feel affirmed. Also, beautiful story about your interaction with Sif. That is like a really great spot in that game.
Definitely.
Sad for sure.
So Rai, are you ready for this?
I'm ready.
Rai, you are a clever, equivocating goose.
Oh.
No wind chimes for you. I don't know what you came in here for.
Geese actually make like a.
They also have like weird teeth on their tongue too. Little tiny little teeth.
Affleck. I don't know. That's all I got.
Oh, thank you, Ryan.
Thank you, Merrick. Thank you.
I'm
guys.
calling it after this, Merrick. You can
No
donate
more.
as much as you want, but that was the last Rai dance we're gonna have for today. You can do it
Spend out
next
your
week.
Rai points.
You can do it next week, but no more Rai dancing. So
We have to take care of the leprechaun.
and definitely, we want to be
There's
kind.
labor laws for
Want to be
them.
kind. Okay, so this is Weekly Affirmations, a show about Indian freeform games. Today we're discussing myth and gaming. You can donate or subscribe to get an affirmation for yourself or for someone else, as we have just demonstrated. In about 15 minutes, we're gonna look at our tweets. So make sure you use the hashtag GameFeels.
nice things.
And I want to briefly say what game that I find archetypally and mythically thematic and interesting. And I'm gonna cheat actually, because I'm gonna talk about my own game.
I'm gonna finish my killing story.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So I had a really vivid dream that like brought back memories. So every time that sound happened, it actually made me kind of cringe up. So if you are not ready, don't do it, because you're gonna have a very different experience from whoever's playing or when you're playing it. It will send you down somewhere different entirely. So make sure that you're ready and you know it. If it feels weird, just stop, because safety first.
Safety for
Safety first.
Safety first. Safety first. So, my game. So, as most of you guys know, I'm in the process of co-designing a game with two other women, Marissa Kelly and Sarah Richardson, called Bluebeard's Bride. It's the Powered by the Apocalypse game about the fairy tale of Bluebeard, which if you have ever read it, you know that is absolutely terrifying. So this is a horror game. And this is specifically a feminine horror game. And so a lot of what we evoke in this game is, I would say, Persephone-esque narratives of descent. And it's really interesting to me because we can use those very powerful archetypes to leverage story where it feels like there maybe isn't a whole lot of story. You go into a house and you get murdered at the end. That doesn't sound like there's a lot of story there, but the story doesn't come from you getting murdered. It comes from who you are and what you're doing and what your life means to you throughout this process of discovering how awful Bluebeard is and going to all of these rooms and getting evidence about how he's an evil maniacal creature. And so we lean very heavily on sort of people's subconscious understandings of femininity and of horror. And it's a really great game. It's super terrifying. Not everybody should play it. Trust me, not everyone should play it. But that's where we definitely used this descent of the feminine into darkness mythological theme to be very powerful. And so I really love this game. I adore this little game that we're making, and it's coming out later this year, and you guys will hear all about it. I will spam to infinity when it's available. But right now, I have to say that it's probably one of my favorite little influences thematically and mythologically on
Can you
the
give a
game.
summary for the story? Because like,
Oh.
This is the Bluebeard story itself. Like
Yeah.
you have to understand why it's so terrifying. Like,
So the Bluebeard fairy tale was first recorded by Pernod, who's French. But just because it was recorded by Pernod does not mean Pernod wrote it. It actually predates him by quite a lot. And it's not actually French in origin either. That's just who ended up recording it. So like many other fairy tales, Bluebeard has many variant endings. And the endings got a little better as time went on, but the original endings were really super grim. And the fairy tale itself was supposed to be an object lesson for women to, 1, obey their husbands, and 2, not be curious, because that's bad in females. And so the story of Bluebeard's bride and of Bluebeard itself is that a young, innocent woman from the countryside marries a man who literally has a blue beard, and there's no explanation for this. She is poor and comes from nobody, and he is nobility, and he has lots of power and money and wealth, and he uses it to get kind of whatever he wants. And there are rumors that he's had previous wives, but no one will really talk about it. And he goes to his mansion and he sequesters her there. So they get married and they have this wonderful ceremony, and it's, gaudy and ostentatious and just like, whoa, I've got the ticket, right, for her. And then before they actually consummate their marriage, he's like, oh, by the way, I have to go on a business trip. So see ya. Here's the keys to everything in the house, every room. Oh, whatever is mine is yours, except for this tiniest key goes to that tiniest room over there, and you're never, ever, ever, ever allowed to go in there. Do you understand me? And then he leaves. And of course, this is a trap. This is a psychological trap. So she's trying to obey her husband, and she's going around the house, and she's, trying to get her domain set up here. But she can feel the pull of, that smallest room, and she's like, well, what's in there? Why doesn't he want me to know? I'm his wife. I should know everything. I run this mansion now. I need to know what's in there. And so she tries to talk herself out of it, but eventually she succumbs, and she opens this door with this tiny key. And what she finds is really, really gruesome. She finds all of the bodies of the previous wives. And she screams and she drops the keys into a puddle of blood. And of course, at that very moment, you hear the front doors to the mansion open, and he's like, hello, I'm home early, unexpectedly, my wife, where are you? Of course. And she picks up the keys, and now the blood has stained the key almost supernaturally. She can't get it off. And this is where the variants start spreading off into different narrative branching and ending differently. But the one that we usually like to tell is that basically he forces her to show him the keys. He finds out that she has gone against his will and seen what's in the room, and so he's like, ha ha ha, well, you fell into my trap and now you join all the other women there. And he cuts off her head and then he sticks her in the room and kind of resets for the next wife. That is a very vanilla telling of it, but when you're really telling the story, it's very gravid, and it is definitely horror themed. And so that is the story that this entire RPG is based on, which is why it is not for everybody, but it's super great.
His name is it reminds me of the Kostche, how he just he dies gruesomely all the time.
Hyper rapid power, go!
No, right. Okay.
No Ryrie, but affirmation for Strix, no dancing, just appreciation for your knowledge.
Ooh, that's a
wow, yeah, there you go. Well done.
Thank you, Eric. That's super cool. So I guess I will affirm myself here. So, Strix, yes? I wanted to tell you that, yes? Okay, that's too weird, probably, right?
You are courageous, entertaining.
Genie.
Oh, there you go.
Aww. I'm a courageous, entertaining genie.
It's just you, though.
It's just
That's
me.
the thing. You don't even have to make the sound. You're just you. You're just
You
you.
just pulled the cards that described you.
Yeah. So
Perfect.
perfect matrix.
These cards are magic.
Perfect matrix is perfect.
So I noticed you were writing down some questions.
So one question
What
was:
did we have?
aren't narratives already mythical by nature? That was the first one. So how do you?
Are all narratives mythical? I think is what we're getting at here.
Yeah.
And I would say no. So I think what makes a narrative mythical is the idea that someone from somewhere
Final
else
Fantasy X. Sorry, that was like a guitar riff. I was just like,
can recognize the personality patterns or the people in your narrative because they've experienced the same thing, essentially. Is that metal?
it's Final Fantasy X, and I hope they skip it. There you go. I realized it. I was like,
I was trying not to say something, but the more you were talking,
I was just like,
That's metal. That's metal on Weekly Affirmations. That's new. I don't know. What do you think about that, Bronze Girl?
See, when I think of myths and fables, I think of something that like even transcends like national or like cultural lines, because one thing I've noticed from like growing up in a different culture is a lot of the stories are the same. It almost doesn't make sense how that happened, but there's like Chinese fables that we have Indian versions of, and there's Indian fables that there's American versions of. And like in America it's always like the sly fox, and in India it's always like the sly crow. And there's just like all these parallels. So for me, I think that's what the separation is between a myth and just a normal narrative. Is myth sometimes is something that almost feels like it's coming from like a
time before.
Like an older place.
World,
It has themes that almost anyone can relate with, because even if you don't have, like the whole parallel I drew between like Okami, like Amaterasu and Durga, like the fact that you can draw that parallel. Whereas if I were to take like, let's say a great story that's absolutely amazing, like The Last of Us, one of my favorite games of all time, it's really hard to kind of pin that to something in the past or to something from it, like it's hard to find a parallel with that, I guess.
And like, so that was one thing that I saw a fifth reel asking about, you know, going past like the hero's journey. And this is the thing though, so right, I feel I read a bit about it because it's like I know these things but I can never place words for them. So that kind of theory to me feels like numerology. Like we're always gonna look for patterns and we're gonna find them. It doesn't matter. You can literally, I probably put the hero's journey through like a larva's cycle, like a fly's like life cycle can literally fit in that trap in a sense. Like our entire lives can fit in that hero's journey. So like there's a certain part between wanting to define something versus just like here's a pattern, here's a pattern, here's a pattern. Because numerology does the same thing. You can like literally have it say anything you want. It's infinite because it's numbers. You know? So like I think there are certain traits that definitely make it mythical. I guess is what I'm saying.
So we've gotten to this part of the show. I knew it was gonna come up. Talking about Joseph Campbell and the hero's journey. So you guys know I have opinions about this with a capital O.
That's why.
So a little bit of background. At Pacifica Graduate Institute, where I was studying for my PhD in mythology, ended up getting my master's, I was a Joseph Campbell scholar, and that's, you know, in capital letters. And what that means is I was selected for a scholarship based on my work to have access to the Joseph Campbell archives, because we have all of his writings in our library, and to really kind of represent the future of what was going to happen with that stuff. And so Joseph Campbell got me into myth. The Power of Myth, which was that special on TV and later became a book, like drove me to this path. So I want to make it clear that like I like Joseph Campbell and I respect his work. And there's nothing wrong with liking and respecting his work. But as an academic and in academia in general, in our understanding of mythology, we are now starting to look past the monomyth and the hero's journey, and there are several reasons for that. One is it's simply too reductive. The hero's journey encapsulates some points of reference which everyone understands, but it dumbs it down so much that it kind of becomes a little meaningless, actually. There was this guy in Hollywood, his name was Vogler, and he basically read Joseph Campbell's book, Hero of a Thousand Faces, reduced it down into like a 7 or 8 page document, and then passed it around LA. And everyone was like, this is the formula! This is how we make millions of dollars, making sure we get the hero's narrative right.
No.
And they thought they were doing something really clever and great, and they'd figured out the formula. But as it turns out, it doesn't actually work that way. When you reduce narratives, mythological narratives, down to formulas, they die, is the best way to put it. They're not alive anymore, because they can be mapped to that structure, but that structure cannot really be mapped out into anything authentic, because the authenticity comes from us and from our own psyches. And we know when we touch something that is archetypal and speaks to us, because we're like, ah, I totally get that story. And we know when something is formulaic, because then we get the Star Wars prequels. Right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And so people know, audiences know when you are not being authentic. And so Vogler did, sorry Vogler, you did a lot of damage by passing that PDF around. And so LA is still trying to recover, Hollywood's still trying to recover. That's why we have so many formulaic stories.
I honestly think that is why Game of Thrones blew up. I think that for those of us who have like kind of been immersed in like, I guess like, I don't want to, for lack of a better word, like nerdier book reading and stuff like that. It was nothing new. But I think as far as TV goes, people aren't used to a character like Cersei, who is she's not a white character, she's not a black character, she's very much gray. And I think for a lot of people it's like, well, I started out hating Tyrion, but now I like Tyrion, but now I hate him, but now I like him, and that's weird. And it's like,
No,
well, that's good
it's not
writing.
weird.
Yeah.
There's no such thing. Like we were talking about like a lot of the Greek heroes and stuff. A lot of them are assholes. They're just the most terrible people on the face of the
Just look at
planet.
what was it? It was Theseus, like that asshole.
Yeah.
And the Minotaur, you think he came up with the string thing? No, go read it. Go freaking read it and see what happens.
So, but that's the point, is that myth moves. Myth is alive and active, and you can feel when it's active.
And people click onto it, or they connect with it when it is something that's like not just, this is the formula of what a hero should be.
Yeah.
And honestly, that's what, and I liked Harry Potter when I was younger, but as I got older, I was like, that's what I don't like about it, is that it is very much like, this is your hero and this is the bad kid. And I always felt like Malfoy got the short end of the stick, where I'm like, I wish I kind of knew more about him. Why is he the way he is, instead of, well, he's just a bad apple, he's just a bad kid. That's what I always loved.
Odysseus did a lot of bad things too.
Odysseus was such a jerk.
Yeah.
He was a jerk
Such a
too.
jerk.
He
That's what I always
forgot
liked.
his wife many times. Just saying. Sorry, it's like really raging. Sorry.
But
Yeah.
that's what I always liked about like the tale of like the way Neil Gaiman wrote Lucifer, was because it's like so many people are quick to dismiss that this is a bad character and this is he's a bad guy, and Neil Gaiman opened up people's minds to the idea of like, he's tragic.
Yeah.
He's not a bad person. It's tragic. Like, he made one mistake and he was cast out of paradise, and how like forgiving and awesome as God is our heavenly Father, if he treated his most beloved angel that way.
And so
it opens up these different ideas.
Yeah. And so we talked about this too, where it's like the idea of the monsters going back to like Shadow of the Colossus, like taking it, because I have this big obsession with the Minotaur right now. So when a monster does something horrific, that's why the acceptance is kind of there. You learn that it's there and it's part of the nature and it's okay. Whereas it comes out in one of your heroes, you're like, "Fuck you! You're awful. You've been stained in a sense."
Well, if we think about what the Minotaur is, right? What the Minotaur really represents, he's this almost instinctual force in the center of a labyrinth, and the Minotaur is very sexual in nature. And feel free to disagree with me, right? Because this is the whole point of academia. But what I see the Minotaur as being, as this monstrous interpretation of masculinity, and how you have to go face it in the labyrinth of self, and usually eats maidens or whatever and sacrifices. But what ends up happening is somebody kills the Minotaur. What happens to that guy is what I want to know.
Yeah. Okay. So Wyatt did an amazing comic. Have you seen it?
Resub!
Resub!
Woo! Let's get some resub hype in chat.
So Wyatt did a really cool comic where this is this guy running around with a pipe in the maze with the red string, finds the Minotaur, kills him, and the Minotaur slowly turns into him, and he becomes the Minotaur, which
Much
is
like
like
Pumpkinhead.
Yeah, exactly. It's actually really like body horror-esque. I was like, this is really cool, and it's like everything is flesh toned everywhere. It was really cool.
That's excellent.
Yeah.
Okay, so Analar, thank you so much for resubbing. We heart you. Look at that resub hype.
Yeah.
Toadcoder, Final Fantasy IX Master.
Sandwiches.
So, Analar, you are a jolly, befriending unicorn.
Where is it?
A jolly, befriending unicorn. So I imagine it's like.
So speaking of your Minotaur, right? The masculinity locked in the maze. It still continues even the way it started. Like something that is like, oh, you're you, but we don't like your nature, and we're gonna suppress it and try to make you into something else. And once you do something that is true to yourself, you can go inside the maze. Bye.
Yeah.
Which is kind of reflective in a sense of how masculinity is treated here now. So in a sense, like I don't know, someone was asking about like what makes myth versus folklore?
Ooh, that's a great question.
That is really important because there's a very big difference.
So it's really easy. Folklore is local. Myth is beyond local. So myth, as we mentioned before, people from other cultures will be able to identify it, at least, if not fully connect with it. Folklore is something that is more at a kind of like a tiny bit lower level. Folklore is more about what is happening in your world close to you, and myth is more about what's happening in your world like up here and down here. I don't know if the hand gestures make sense, but it's about levels of attenuation.
So it's like, no, so there can still be creation folklore, in a sense, or is that more towards myth? Because that's more towards
That's
myth,
more
right?
towards myth.
Because that's more of like an
talking
ancient.
about all of us,
Yeah,
right?
and then the folklore is local, like the story of the woman who marries the crow, or etc., or like Anasi's stories too, are more folklore than myth. So is Anasi technically more? He's more folklore.
Well, see, that's the thing is it's
That's
really
hard,
a spectrum
right?
and not like a black and white.
Yeah.
A folklore piece can become mythic. A mythic piece can be reduced down to folklore over time. So there's not like a hard line where you're like, that's a myth and that's a folktale.
You can kind of it's more like a tracking. You can also kind of track the story.
I would almost consider tales like that of, oh, I forgot the name of the original Germanic creature in Coraline.
Oh, the mother.
The mother. So that's an actual folklore. That would be a folklore.
Thanks for this awesome discussion. Loving it so far.
Yay!
It's fun.
Fan is fast.
Yeah.
Oh, yep. All right, Thin is Fat, thank you for the donation. Your donations keep us running and having these awesome conversations, so thank you very much. You are a helpful, behaving kangaroo.
It was really long.
That was a longer one.
That was a really long wind chime. That was cool.
Okay, I feel like I've been making a lot of the sounds, so I feel like someone else should pick up the slack.
This one's you.
Oh my god.
Nose goes.
Okay, let's see. Helpful behaving kangaroo.
Oh, that's so cute. Okay, that totally wins. You win. You're the helpful behaving kangaroo.
See, I couldn't have done that with my mouth.
Can you tell what I do in my spare time? Make noises. I talk to crows. Have you heard baby crows? They're so cute.
No.
They just like walk up to their parents like, feed me. And it's like, no. Or they'll like be stuck in trees and stuff. They're like, go, move away. They're like, I don't know. It's really cute.
Excellent.
You can hear the little tiny little voices. They're super adorable. They're so cute.
Okay, so it's 4:15ish, which means I'm gonna read some tweets.
Yes.
While I do that, distract chat.
Okay.
Distract
chat. Oh, so to go off of what I was saying, that mother from Coraline that steals children and replaces their eyes with buttons.
Yeah.
That is an actual like Germanic tale. And same thing with Homeboy the Krampus. I would consider that like a folklore.
Yeah, Krampus.
I like how I call them Homeboy.
Krampus is cool. Cause come on. Have you seen those celebrations in Germany? Like they have like the Krampus, like everybody dresses up and scares children. It's great. So that was when I was talking about how older myths, like stuff from Native Americans and just all the stories from Africa, like stuff back then didn't give a crap. They just killed you and they didn't care. And that's something that we're missing in our like culture up here. I mean, the stories vary on the coast. Like I was talking about how on the East Coast, the stories are like more primal, but that seems to be because colonization kind of happened that way. So a lot of the older stories and like when you colonize a new country, it's freaking scary. It's like walking into the dark house that's haunted and you're just like, okay, what do we do? We're here now. What are we gonna do? And so I think what happens for us, specifically in America, is that we don't fear anything anymore. Like all of our stories do not have that fear, and we just make everything easy by demonizing everything.
And we're also culturally.
Not it.
Merrick's having a great day.
Hashtag not it. Make
Thank
the
you,
sound.
by the way.
Hashtag Aries.
Making it worth it.
Oh. Yes.
1, 2, 3, not me.
I will do it. I will do it.
Okay.
You want this one?
Yes, I can totally do this. So I'm about to read our hashtags, but before we do that, Merrick wants us to make sounds, which we are happily obliged to do. So Merrick, you are a shiny, burrowing kraken.
Can we do the Elder God one?
There we go.
There we go.
Come on, QQ. Get on it. Okay, so shiny, burrowing kraken. So
chrome, so shiny.
yeah, so it'd be like
Ding has a shine. It's the one shine. The glisten. It's like, oh god. So shiny.
Help you with that.
Thank you.
Help you with the shine.
So shiny, so chrome.
shiny, burrowing kraken.
They just like spray itself too and then
right, so let's read some of our Game Feels hashtags for today. Remember, you can tweet us at any time throughout today's show with the hashtag GameFeels with a Z. It can be affirmations, questions, fan art, whatever you want to do, and we will read them out loud live, so be nice. All right, so the first one we have is from PB&J, who is also Philip. So Philip says, not really a, resub hi! Crid,
right,
can you write that down for me? We'll do that in a second, Crid. So Philip says, not really game feels, but my internship ended today. My coworkers were patient, friendly, Asclepian snakes.
Ooh.
Pretty good.
Snakes are cool.
Genova Plus says, Emily, you missed your affirmation. You're rambunctious, cackling Shaggoth. Congrats on being a spazzy elder god. So hopefully Emily will see that one. I'm gonna go ahead and heart it and retweet it. Final Fantasy IX Master says 3 things I love this week: dire bears, raspberries, and constant patching of bugs after huge content updates. That might be sarcasm on that last one there. But thank you for sharing.
Not judging.
Not judging. We don't judge, even if you judge. We don't judge you judging. You're fine. Everything's fine.
It's fine.
It's fine.
So everything is fine. It's the motto here.
Void Smoker says, ooh, fan art. So Void Smoker says, analytical lions are more likely to be victorious. Things you learn on Hyper RPG.
Question mark?
And then look at this fan art. This is amazing.
So fast.
It's Void Smoker's amazing.
I'm gonna retweet that so everyone can see. By the way,
he drew me as Bronze Girl. He's like
Yeah.
Iron Man's janky sidekick, but I loved it.
It's perfect.
Thank you, Void Smoker. You're amazing.
so on Twitter, I'm _Strix. I just retweeted this fan art, which is amazing.
That's adorable.
So make sure you heart it and tell Void Smoker that
he
they're
has
awesome.
a medal.
Yeah, he's number one.
He's victorious.
And then Pastor Recoil says, thanks for the great discussion today. You, me, and Steph. Excellent. And then this is the last one for right now, but it says, Strix, Steph, and Bronze Girl, you are all intriguing, bemused Quetzalcoatls. Which, as you know, is the snake god.
Yeah.
So, totally cool. Thank you guys for those hashtag GameFeels
or just
tweets.
Hakar, that jerk.
Definitely keep those tweets coming. We're gonna do this one more time at the end of the show, so please have tweets for me to talk about, because otherwise, you know what happens. Zach comes in here and he's like, Godzilla stomp, why aren't you doing your job? So let's avoid that. So 1 or 2 more tweets would be fine. It's true, you've not seen it. You've not seen it. You've not seen it. It's...
I'm not sure I want to see it.
Oh, you have a resub by Crid.
That's right, the resub by Crid. That's why you're my note taker today, because you're awesome.
All right.
Okay, so resub from Crid. Thank you so much. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. You're volunteering for this one.
Okay. All right.
So Crid, thank you so much for the resub. You are a gentle, articulating Moogle.
Okay. So gentle, articulating. Kupo. Ku.
That's wonderful.
That's great.
That is so wonderful. I'm smiling so
was
hard.
so soft.
My cheeks hurt.
So soft.
That is wonderful.
See, a Moogle I can do. Moogles are easy.
So I'm gonna get back on my Joseph Campbell thing for just a second here, because you guys know how much it agitates me. So thank you so much for hearting us, Marquiso.
Marquicio.
We got it. Group effort.
Hey, California.
Yes. I am Mexican and everything.
This is close to the border. That was made for a while.
So the second thing about the hero's journey, which we need to move past, is the hero's journey is mostly about the journey that dudes take, and not so much the journey about women taking journeys. Women can fit into the hero's journey, but it's not really, I don't feel like it's for us. And so monomyth is fine, it helps us connect things. The hero's journey is fine, as long as we don't use it as a formula. But the other thing that's really important about it is the spectrum of experience in a heroic journey that is in real life, that people of many genders can have, I don't feel is reflected accurately in the hero's journey. And there are lots of other scholars that agree with me. Many of them went to Pacifica as well and love Joseph Campbell. But we're in a place now where we realize that the hero's journey needs to be more nuanced and it needs more space for different kinds of stories. It's actually way too reductive, and it tells only one kind of story. And this story is not the capital H hero's journey. There's not one hero's journey is what we're realizing. What we're realizing is there are many different kinds of hero's journey, and it actually does us as people who consume narrative a disservice to boil it down to only one journey.
And I think because we're so stuck on the hero's journey, you get phrases like, "Oh, girls are starting to play video games again." Like, do you know what I mean? Like, so I've always wanted movies. You know what I mean? So like, you want to talk about inclusion, like, oh, but you have this and this and this. I'm like, we've been here the whole time. Woo!
Hyper Power Go.
The mods.
Yeah.
Hashtag weekly affirmations hype. Affirmation for our mods, please.
Definitely. So that was from Epithriel for all of our mods. Our mods are some of the hardest working people here at Hyper RPG. Thank you guys so much. You are always on top of it.
These are so perfect.
You make this channel great, and you make it so that the show can happen in a space that is productive and awesome. So thank you so much. So mods. Oh, this is so perfect. Mods, you are elegant, bellowing bunnies.
So basically a Lagambi
A Lagambi?
from Monster Hunter.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
You're all Lagambis.
Elegant, okay, dude. Lagambis.
Sorry.
So there's that one phrase, like, traditionally women are daughters, mothers, wives, and there's this really funny tweet from Noelle Stevenson who was like, there have not been women on the moon. This is really stupid. I wonder why. It's like, maybe because when we do send one, they'll just absorb the moon goddess's power and become too powerful. I was like, that's true. That would be really great.
Well, and that's a good point, is that women's identities usually constellate around men. And
Okay.
men's identities
Which is why I'm really
constellate
pissed off
around
about the Wonder Woman trailer.
I
Yes.
think, yeah. I'm
Sorry, like, it's cool and it's pretty and I hope it does well, but like that trailer sent me down a path that I'm just like, I have very low levels of hope because of the way it was portrayed.
I mean, I really enjoyed the Drunken Rant last Friday. It was great. Or was that Saturday?
What?
Oh, yeah. It got better because I thought about it some more.
Rant?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
She did.
This is why the myth thing is happening too, kind of part of it
Kind
why
of
I'm
is.
here.
Yeah. Kind of. So, I'm not hopeful about DC, to be honest. They just have wrecked my heart over and over again. Hyper Rabbit Power Go!
Yeah!
Okay!
Please affirm that bronze girl
You're
hashtag
gonna
game
need
feels
it when you're done
hashtag
playing
Mass
that
Effect hash set or dash prep.
Thank you so much for that affirmation for him, Critter. And now I get to affirm you, Miss Bronze Girl. So, you are a nice, cooing antelope.
What did an antelope sound like?
It's adorable! It's adorable! A nice, cooing antelope. Thank you for him, Critter.
Just how they're handling her. Like, I'm not a big comic book nerd, but like,
Hyper Rabbit Power Go!
yeah!
Yes.
It's
Yes.
like I'm throwing a Pokeball.
Can I get an affirmation for Lizzie the Bold because she has been so good?
Absolutely,
Yeah.
Binky. So Lizzie, who is
Wow.
one of my favorite peoples too. Lizzie, you're great. So this is from Blinky? Binky. There we go.
I was
got
like,
it.
oh my god, I have like the worst RAM too, like nearly as bad.
So Lizzie, you are, oh yes, an assertive, fascinating manticore. An assertive, fascinating manticore.
Wow! Because it's like the lion and then the goat, right?
uh-huh.
Because it's like it's combined, so it's assertive as it comes up to you.
I will take that. That sounds great. So I see a long poster that says Hyper Rabbit Power Go!
Oh my gosh!
Rathicus.
Being stuck in traffic isn't fun, but it's much better listening to you wonderful ladies. Bronze should do the sound. Moogle was too easy.
All right, you're up.
Moogle was too easy. It's not how simple the action is, it's how well you do it. right?
Oh, sass up in here.
Wrath is
Got
one of my
sass.
mods, so I get to sass him.
Got it.
Okay.
Your slander does let me sleep all at night, so it's fine.
No, I slander everybody. And they're like, oh, it's our positive feel-good show. I was like, Ryan, are you sure you're on that show?
You've done very well so far.
All right.
You've maintained your darker impulses. So, Bronze Girl.
The forces of good and evil are battling inside me. Right now, good is winning, but eventually, evil will prevail.
So, you are a magnificent, glittering fawn.
No idea what sounded like.
Make it up.
Glittering. Good enough?
I think that's good enough.
I don't know what sound a fawn makes. I feel like it would like make a clicky or weird sound.
Well, it depends on if we're talking about an actual baby deer or the mythological creature.
Oh, I
Yeah.
was thinking a baby deer.
Yeah.
'Cause fawns are
Yeah.
different.
Yeah. Is it not a baby deer?
Well, the mythological fawn is kind of deer-ish. but
Yeah,
got
it's-
some man
yeah.
parts.
Which one was it?
Well, Tumnus was a fawn.
Wait, then which one did I
Forever power go!
It was the use. I think it's 90.
Steph!
Aww.
Please affirm Steph hashtag game feels hashtag Valraven hashtag or dash prep.
Nice.
Oh, Valravans are so scary.
Oh, this one's better.
Wow.
Yes. So, that was from 4am Critter. And I hope that you feel affirmed by this because, Steph, you are a lucky, astonishing Cerberus.
Oh, yes. Yes.
I think you should make the Cerberus sound.
It's just louder because he has 3 jaws stuck in his face. It's like, lucky, astonishing, the astonishing, right?
Yes.
Yeah, the astonishing Cerberus.
That's perfect. Thank you
I
so
wanted
much.
to do a series of just 3-headed dogs, like of the the gross bloodhounds running around with their faces just flying everywhere, and just have 3 heads attached to a really gross body. doing
Yes. Yes.
That'd be great.
I'd be like,
that. Just random dogs you get like Chihuahua. That's pretty terrible. That's really scary. Like a Chihuahua Cerberus, they're just like all really concerned at the same time. It'd be horrible.
it's true.
That's really horrible.
I'm not a fan of chihuahuas, so
Neither.
for me that'd be like a terrifying creature.
It would be, it's gonna bite my toe off. Get off. Ah! That's how I feel about chihuahuas.
Yeah.
So I'm seeing a lot of great discussion in chat, and I'm trying to stay caught up. I believe Chisley Wisley said something about Ghostbusters, which I have now seen,
Yes.
and I want to talk about Ghostbusters for a second. So I really liked it. It was kind of the run-of-the-mill summer pop movie that not everyone's gonna remember 5 years from now, and that's fine, because that's happened with so many other movies. But for me, something really important happened with Ghostbusters, in that, I have grown up sort of having to stick myself into narratives where I'm not represented. Like in the original Ghostbusters, if I wanted to be an actual Ghostbuster, I'd have to pretend to be someone who is not like myself, which is fine, we do that all the time. But the thing with Ghostbusters, it was about a woman's experience being a Ghostbuster, and there was this moment at the end of the film, spoiler alert, where the city lights up, and there's like little hearts and like thank yous plastered all over the cityscape saying, "Thank you, Ghostbusters." And I, for a moment, was suddenly like choked up, and I was like, what is this feeling? Why am I having feelings about Ghostbusters?
Why is this not a cheesy scene? Like, it's supposed to be super cheesy.
Super cheesy,
Yeah.
but I realized it was because I had never really seen that before in a movie where women were just thanked and loved for what they did and for being heroes. Period. That's it, the end. And there was no romance attached to that. There was no feeling of like they needed something else to be complete. They had just gone and been freaking heroes, and everyone liked them for it. And if we think about how often that actually happens in blockbuster movies,
Not very
No.
I can't remember really where it wasn't for the male gaze, where it was just the women being women.
And a lot of the
Furiosa.
time,
I'm
when
sorry, Mad Max.
when they do it,
But
they
there's
don't get
redemption,
celebrated.
Yeah, they don't get
Like
celebrated.
the one that pops into my mind is Alien,
Yeah.
because oh my god, can we just have a moment for Sigourney Weaver?
Yeah.
But like as a kid, that's who I looked up to as characters like
Yeah,
Xena.
Queen of
and
Sci-Fi,
Rocky.
yes, yeah.
I love Xena.
If I had to
And-
define myself in 3 movies, it's Dark Crystal, or 3 like movies, TV shows, Dark Crystal, Xena, and Alien. for sure.
And I really like Alien too. I love Alien.
Yes, the monster.
But it was still filmed from a male gaze.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Like the tiny underwear for no reason.
Yeah.
That was just all about like look at her butt. It wasn't.
She's also chased
serving
around in the
her.
darkness of space by a very penis-shaped creature.
I've heard various theories.
But
see
that's
that.
the thing. But that's the thing, though. That's just people. That's just people. No, I don't.
Because it
either,
can also
it's
be
a monster.
interpreted as
Yeah.
bad.
Because I like that monster.
Yeah,
I love
really like that
xenomorphs
monster.
so much. But like, it's just people reading into Geiger, I think, too much, and applying him to his creature, where it's like not really that case. He made this creature for that movie, you know.
Yeah, Sarah
It's a
Connor-
read. It's a read, but then you're just like, sure, if you can say that, but I'm not gonna accept it. That's it.
Sarah Connor in Terminator 2 was pretty rad.
yeah.
I really have looked up to her for a long
Yeah,
time.
no, she's amazing. Linda Hamill, I remember her laying the beat down on a bunch of asylum guards. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
One of my favorite movies, since you mentioned Dark Crystal, is also a Jim Henson film called Mirror Mask.
Yeah.
I love Mirror Mask.
That's
Yeah.
like one of my favorite.
That was that was
for
Henson
sure.
and Gaiman together.
Yeah. Oh gosh.
beautiful.
So there was like
watch
a
it.
leading in with like women too. They're talking about any different roles that women have in mythology, but because the Christianization, like everything is kind of very one-sided.
yeah.
So yeah, I'll give you two: Kali and Nemesis. Do you know who Nemesis is? Not the thing from Resident Evil 2. She's the goddess of divine vengeance. They gave a monster a girl's name, which I think is great, and
pretty
nobody
cool.
really knows that.
I think we have to take a step back from Western myth in order to understand Western myth. And when I say Western, I mean stuff influenced by Europe and the Greeks. So we live in the West right now. America is the West, Europe is the West, and the West has a certain philosophy of thought. And we were influenced a lot by the Puritans and a lot by Christianity. And so the filter through which we view things is very particular. It is not universal. We try to say, well, it's universal because we all think it, but there are other thought systems outside of Western thought. There's Eastern thought, there's all kinds of Confucian thought that is non-Western, and they have their own filters of viewing all of these same kinds of things. And so it's really easy for us to assume that everything that we think is universal, because everyone around us on this entire continent thinks the same way. But if we zoom out a lot more, what we see is that Western thought is particular. And it is particularly influenced by the Greeks and the Puritans. Hyper Rabbit Power Go!
Aww. Aww.
Sorry to interrupt great discussion. But can we please get an affirmation for all the ladies of Hyper RPG? They all are all amazing.
Yes! So that was from Lizzie.
You're a female. Come inside.
Females! Come inside!
All the ladies.
Ladies' Day! All the single ladies. All the single
I love it.
I know what you're
Where's Anna? Anna!
It's a Japanese thing, I think, right?
Is Emily here?
Yeah.
I was literally just shoving food in my mouth. I was like, you need to go in there.
Anna!
Ferengi here.
Anna! Female!
Female. Do you like that? Do you like that Marvel call?
Who is this from?
Whenever somebody says
Lizzie.
females, all I hear is the Ferengi.
Females! So this is from Lizzie the Bold, and she's affirming all the ladies on Hyper RPG. Emily, get the camera.
Well, you didn't hide it correctly, so that's your fault.
So ladies, we are all delicious.
Now I have Farkle's ladies from Girl Meets World.
ladies.
Why did you bring it up? It was fine. Everything was fine.
Ladies! We're delicious! Flaming!
Ferengi.
Cards!
Thanks, Liz.
Thank you, Lizzie!
And you're part of that.
That's right. Alright,
So a pegacorn.
I'm just gonna stay back here.
okay, that's
Okay,
fine.
cool.
You can be our talking head. Or maybe not.
I just want to put things on your face now. It's like balance remotes on your head. Kind of like the little Cheerios of little pet lizards. Have you seen that one? It's cuter on pet lizards than on babies. This is just a
Everything
fact.
is cuter on pet lizards than on babies. Babies aren't cute.
Like a shark costume? Yeah, put my lizard in a shark costume. It's so cute. Have you seen a bearded dragon in a shark costume?
I
It's
have.
adorable.
I have
It's
actually.
really cute.
I like bearded dragons. They're kind of goopy.
Yeah.
They're
so
gross.
derpy.
Yeah.
They're super derpy.
Super derp.
Super derp.
So what were we talking about? I feel like we were talking about
Scoping out into the different biz and like
and the
art.
West.
Yeah.
Oh, I got super academic for a second. That's right. I'm sorry. We were talking about Puritans. But it's true. We are heavily influenced by what came before us, and it helps us when we understand that there is context for our views, and that our views are particular and not universal, which is where Joe Campbell, not JoJo, not our Joe.
Like, what did Joe do?
Joseph Campbell kind of made a mistake where he was very well educated and he read all about the Upanishads and many, many other cultures, but he still made sort of the fatal flaw in assuming that because we're all this way, then everyone on the entire planet is the same way. And I think that's where I tend to really dig in and disagree with him, and that those pluralities actually need to stay pluralities and not become monomythic. And I'm gonna shut up now because that was just
Maltheo, there are some cute babies,
really
and I know only one of them.
Well, you know, I think that when we look at what's popular in our media right now, I think people are ready for not that like typical sort of that stereotype. Because when you look at, like, once again, I'm gonna bring up Game of Thrones just because it's like this phenomenon, which I was so surprised that blew up because Song of Ice and Fire has been around for quite a
long
while.
time.
But I think when you look at who's popular in that, and like Arya, everybody's like Arya. Look at Arya. She is like what you would not consider to be your typical young girl, but everybody, grown men, are fans of this little girl who goes against everything that society is thrusting on her. And it's like, if those same people could just say that, you know, games should be made by women and for women too, then imagine the societal change that would happen. I think that guys are ready for it.
Yeah, for sure.
I think that it's like, it's some of the negative press that comes with, you know, being a feminist, because you do have like the extreme social justice warriors, what we call like the Tumblr feminazis or whatever you want to call it, that, you know, use words like toxic masculinity and stuff like that, which I think tends to marginalize people. But I think if you look at, instead of, I feel like when you don't attach like a feminist title to something, people immediately click in and like it anyway, because then it doesn't feel like you're warring on them a little bit. And I feel that same way with, like, we were discussing this, you know, on the comic book show, because I was saying you can't give us female and minority characters at the expense of like white male characters. When you replace a white male character and like this one's gone, and you know now you have a female, now it's like a war.
Yeah, you're
you know,
perpetuating
now
the
you're
fight,
saying, well, yeah, but you know, for minorities to have things, we have to take them away from white people. And it's like, that's such a negative way to introduce it, as opposed to like when you look at how they introduced Kamala Khan, Miss Marvel, as the first Pakistani superhero. They were like, well, Miss Marvel basically got a promotion. She's been Captain Marvel for like 5 years now. No one's using the old name. She's gonna step up and take it. And it wasn't like, so she got such a warm reception. Everybody loves her. She had one of the best-selling comics that year. But it was because it was like, when you just put it out
natural.
there,
It's organic.
people grab it, instead of saying, oh, we have to, you know, we have to let's replace Ned Stark with the female. And obviously that
Here's the thing. Okay, here's the problem.
Work anyway.
Because that kind of concept means like I'm going to replace every male with a female. Do you know what happens if there are no guys? There's still going to be sexual violence. There's still going to be abuse. There's still going to be the same shitty things that are going to happen in the world, and that's not the point of like representation. That's not the point.
No.
The point is to like, I can enjoy it too. It's not that I have to have this, but I need to be able to enjoy it in a very unique way. And it's still really hard to actually pinpoint it, because different people like pick out these things that represent themselves. So it's like it's not like I need everything. So example, the Ghostbusters movie. To me, that felt like a chick flick that I could finally enjoy. Does that make sense? Like, it's like it's a fun movie, and it was cool. Whereas, like, people I watch, like, what, the 13 Dresses, whatever, like, freaking Traveling Pants Sisterhood crap, like, I obviously am not watching it, but, like, I didn't care. I couldn't care less. I couldn't.
For me, it was Bridesmaids.
Yeah, and people talk about, I'm like,
I never liked chick flicks, and then my friend dragged me to watch Bridesmaids. I was like, this shit is hilarious. It's like the funniest movie I've ever watched. But I think it's, once again, it's because it wasn't trying to be like, oh, well, normally this would have been no, it's so freaking organic. It's a bride and her bridesmaids. So, of course, you're going to have all women.
Well, and the other issue with simply swapping someone out is if you're swapping a white dude out in a story and you just put a brown woman in, you actually haven't effectively done anything.
Yeah.
Because that character is still going to archetypally act like a white dude.
And and
that is not representation actually at all. When we talk about representation, what we mean is being able to relate to a set of circumstances or behaviors that we recognize because they're the same in our own lives. So what we're really asking for with representation is just say, hey, I want something that is easier for me to relate to because you guys already have a lot of that. So it doesn't hurt for us to also make things that are that way for us as well. I don't think anyone's trying to take anything away from anyone. We want more.
I did like the Walking Dead show for that reason.
Yeah.
Like I know it's not as good as the graphic novel or even the video game, but it does have like a lot of different
because it's a different media though. It's a different kind of media.
Thank you, Arizona, for hearting.
But it's also because it's different media, which is why it can't be the same thing.
Yeah,
ever.
Exactly.
And so like that's kind of a thing where when people are like, I'm gonna make a movie or a comic book, it's like you can't make the actual comic book into a movie because there are things that are in frame and that are in composition that will never translate to film. And so you have to understand that like you need to make a very unique experience, and that's kind of the essence of it. Speaking of your representation, I had a huge rant about people rewriting Dragon Age Inquisition so that you could have you can romance like you can romance your gay characters with a male. Like, for example, Sarah is a guy.
Oh,
and
yay! Mary Geek, thank you so much for following.
And so what happens with that? So it's not only are you just like not doing representation, you're robbing the identity. You're essentially going, I don't want this, I want this, I'm gonna take it. And that's like, you know, you do your own thing for sure, but like that is like just the same thing as like you're just causing more of a battle. You're literally like ripping something out, and it's so violent. And I don't think people realize that it's like, oh, I just switched out a word, it doesn't matter. I'm like, yes, it does. You've ripped this character out. You've literally torn them away from their story and put something else there.
I do see your point, but
yeah, no, it's cool.
So what Steph is basically saying is there is an integrity to the story because it was written the way it was written, right? And that's what you're saying.
Yeah.
But if we look at the integrity of stories, and we look at actually the fan fiction community, right? The fan fiction community exists because people are essentially writing themselves into stories where maybe they don't feel like they fit in a canon. And so they take the canon and they make it their own and they write all of these other things. And so I actually personally was not a fan of fan fiction for a long time. I was like, this is weird and cheesy and I don't get it and I don't like it, and why don't they just do their own thing? Why can't they write their own goddamn stories? And then I really took some time to think about it, and I've walked back that position actually quite a lot. Because what fan fiction does is it gives ownership to people who wouldn't otherwise feel ownership in a lot of media, and they make it their own. They're literally colonizing these stories with their own perspectives because their perspectives aren't present. And I feel like actually Hamilton is a great example of like fan fiction gone public. Fan fiction becomes successful because it's people of color writing themselves into.
There's really successful fan fiction anyway. Like there's really, really cool stuff that happens.
There is, but I think
like
that's
50 Shades of Grey.
Oh my gosh.
Sorry, I had to troll. It wouldn't have been a complete episode if I didn't troll.
Can I be offended after that? Like,
but I think the reason why we have the phenomenon of fan fiction is because minority groups are trying to take ownership, and that's the way that they figured out how to do it.
Yeah.
So that's kind of
I can see that too. I can see that too. Okay, so then is it different when you write the story? Because like not a lot of fan fiction becomes a separate story. But when you take the game that's been made and then change that, like what is that?
Well,
what do you think? Like it is kind of fan, obviously. It's fan made and it's enjoyed by fans for a specific reason. I get it. But it's a weird, blurry little spot, right?
Yeah, I don't know if I have staked out a position on that yet or not.
Personally, I feel it's violent. That's just me, though. You do your thing. I
cool.
understand that.
Yeah.
I absolutely understand it, and I know it exists. I'm not saying like down with everything. Like, it's just that I personally don't use it for that reason. That's it. Like, because it also means a lot to me. Like, sexuality does mean a lot to me, and that's probably the reason why I feel like it is so violent. Is because it is me that you're ripping out from that storyline, and I think that's kind of why it hurts.
Makes sense.
Yeah, I think that's why it hurts. Why it's so like I'm so miffed and like.
Because for you, it's like I like this character and this character is straight, and that's sad because that means I'll never get to have sex with this character, but that's okay.
Yeah.
And when somebody just flips the switch and it's like, no, now this character will have sex with you, it's like,
ooh. Like Cassandra, I was okay she was straight, and I was really happy with BioWare for doing that because it's real. It's so real, and I think part of the way to help integration is like go look around the world. The only way that you can learn how to make people feel like they belong in your story is to like look around you, find different people, and write about them.
You make a game like Persona where all your waifus hate you no matter what you do. And then you take your PS Vita and throw it on the ground and say, fuck Persona. If you don't want to be my waifu, I don't want to be your waifu either.
You're almost ready for honesty.
So glad you're on the show. I'm so glad.
Yeah.
Hi, Quick Alpha Strike.
Girls in
thanks for joining
Persona
us.
are bitches. That's it. That's all I have to say.
So, if you're just joining us today, this is Weekly Affirmations, a feel-good show about indie freeform RPGs where we're positive and stuff. Today we're discussing myth and gaming. I'm Strix, the host. This is Stephanie and ThatBronzeGirl joining us for our discussion today. So we have been discussing myth and games, the hero cycle, Joseph Campbell. We've been discussing women and representation and all kinds of awesome stuff. We have 40 minutes left, so we still got some time to dig into things.
We should probably reel back to myths and like structures again, because that went down representation.
Away from waifus.
If you donate or subscribe, you get an affirmation from us to you, as you found they are hilarious. Also, if you tweet us with the hashtag GameFeels, towards the end of the show, we will bring those up and we will read out those tweets live, which is super fun. We do have some previous questions that were asked via Twitter today and yesterday. Probably time to get to some of those. So let me see what I have here. So, how often do the cycles and patterns of myths of old repeat themselves in contemporary times? So what we're saying is, you know, if mythological stories are eternal and archetypal, do we see the patterns now? And I'm gonna go there and say yes, we're seeing that right now, actually. And I 100% try to avoid talking about politics on this show, but this year's presidential election is, I would say, quite archetypally replete. There is a lot of stories that we're seeing that we can map to cycles that we have seen before in the past. And they're alarming to me personally. You know, you're free to have your own politics, but personally speaking, I'm being very honest here, what I see is the antecedents of fascism, possibly springing up from the actions and inactions that we are participating in right now as a culture. And that's scary to me because we have so many examples to learn from the past and from archetypal stories, from recent stories, from World War II. And so I would say that this is a myth of power specifically that gets repeated over and over and over again, and we're seeing it right now. So that's what I think. I don't know if you guys have other points that you would like to share on of myths repeating themselves today. Think I got it?
Yeah.
I definitely, okay, here's kind of a thought. I've always like protected comic books with like a passion that is almost scary, because every time people talk about like editing them or censoring them, I get scared, because to me they're our version of mythology. And I always feel like, at least like the original India myths sprung out of people not being able to explain things, and then like finding valid ways to sort of like deal with emotions or like fears that they couldn't really cope with. They would like embody them in some way, shape, or form. And so I'm getting to the point here with like all the things about terror and ISIS and all this terrible stuff happening in the world. I think that globally we're just kind of scared. And then they announced like putting up the Captain America, like the 31-foot bronze statue that they're gonna unveil. They unveiled at Comic-Con, and they're gonna put it in, I think it's in Brooklyn. That's where it came from. And I was thinking about that, and I was like, this is so akin to probably like what the Greeks and the Romans did, you know, like erecting a statue someplace as a symbol of like hope. And it really, for me, cemented that feeling that like, you know, Captain America is kind of our Hercules or our hero, and like having a bronze statue of him, I think that the timing for that was to like
bring that back, to bring something, unity back again.
So that's what I kind of felt like when I don't know if that's really a solid example of it repeating itself, but that, when I saw like the timing for it, and right after, you know, all the shootings and things that have happened, and I felt like we needed that, and it was really kind of cool to see that, because it was like, for me, it was full circle, because I felt like I'd been saying it forever. And I was like, after they talked about it and after we announced the news, I was like, you know, we won. Like, the war against comics is over, because we now have a giant bronze statue in Brooklyn of Captain America. You can't sit back and now say that comics are for children, or they're too violent, or they're this, or they're that, or they're a waste of time, because at its core, when you're scared or when you're afraid, you can't tell me you don't look at that symbol and the hair on the back of your neck doesn't raise up and you don't feel something.
And also, like, you're talking about DC Comics, like, being that representative, like, silver golden age, but it's still, like, comics is still grown, which is kind of cool, because a lot of things for us hasn't grown. Example is the political system. Something needs to happen about that. Like, we have to start talking about a better way. Probably, maybe that's the correct word, but like, comics as a media has wound up growing so much. You know, we're getting representation, we're getting stories, like they're updating the heroes because they matter. You can't bury Superman away, you can't bury Captain America away, because they do mean something. They've meant something in the past, 60 years, yeah. Even like Batwoman can be buried away in a sense, even though she was created for a really bad reason. They still like, hey, let's see what happens, you know?
Yeah. I actually think this segues really well into one of the other questions that somebody asked on Twitter, which is, what is the place of myths now that we have science? And so I think we just talked about that. Myths were one way of describing the world, but they were a way that doesn't have to be mechanically and materially real. Myths are metaphors. Captain America is a metaphor, and his statue in the middle of Brooklyn is a way for you to connect with that metaphor.
This is the story of, it's like the statue of Athena in Athens.
Right?
It's like, it's where you
and
are.
I think that's actually a fundamental misunderstanding of myth in contemporary America, of what myth is. A lot of people have this conception that myth was just things that we made up to explain the universe because we didn't have science. And that's not actually true. If you go back thousands of years, and I will go back to the Greeks actually had this idea of there was two ways of explaining the understanding of the world, and they existed at the same time in parallel. One was mythos, and the other was logos. And they were basically two different understandings of the world, and they served different functions. So science tells us about the material world, how things work. When you add X plus Y, you get Z, right? That's the how. Myth tells us about, I hate being this person, but it tells us about soul. It tells us about who we are inside. And science doesn't really do that. That's not science's job. That's myth's job. And so there's no reason actually why you can't hold them both at the same time. They're not competing. They don't fight each other.
This is what the truth exists as. If you want to pull it out biblically, it's the sword. The truth is a double-edged sword, right? And you have to have two faces in order to make that edge. Truth is not just one thing, and that's a big problem. I mean, everybody hits that because I need to be right, but that's not the truth. The truth is multiple things, and you can. It's more like a crystal than it is a sword, and you can have two sides just existing on the other side. And they never see each other. They will never meet, and they will never agree. But it doesn't defer the fact that they can both exist. That's it. And like, there's certain things that will come together, and they'll meet, and they'll have a boundary. And the important part is to like see that boundary and respect it and understand that, okay, we can both exist together. It doesn't mean you have to like, what's the point of just one thing doing? You don't exist after that. That's just like one plane of existence. You can't simply be one thing in the world, right? And that's why the two things, right? Same thing with the logos and mythos. Like they will sit on that edge forever because they define the shape of the world.
And myth is very active right now. Very active. The key is that it has secularized. So we've actually taken the mythic away from the religious a little bit. We're becoming a much more secular society, which is why we are digging into our entertainment industries, comic books and video games and movies for our myths. Because they're non-religious, right? Captain America is a non-religious mythology to us. And we're secular, more secular than we've been before. And so myth hasn't gone anywhere, it hasn't changed. It just has become less religiously oriented, and we consume billions of dollars worth of myth every year, and all of the content that we are kind of grabbing at and eating. Like, Stranger Things just came out on Netflix, and I love Stranger Things. There are things about it that I don't like, but there are things about it that I like a lot. And I am consuming this myth. Like, I sat down and watched like 6 episodes all at once. And it's because I want those narratives and I want those stories that are mythic in nature. And so myth is alive and well, and it is kicking the entertainment industries into high gear, and they're making lots of money because it speaks to us, and it always has. And I don't think that will actually change, no matter how scientific we get.
What you were saying about stories intertwining, and like that's the same example. Like it exists forever. Like everyone has their giants, everyone has their dragons. They're all different. They represent different things via culture, right? Like the dragons from China are not the same as the dragons in England, obviously, or the dragons in fantasy. Giants aren't the same either. Like, you know, between Norse mythology, between what's here in America, what's in the Bible, they all vary, but they all exist, which is cool. Which, you know, there are a lot of explanations for it, but like that's kind of the fun of them existing, is that you think about where did it come from. Like I may never find the truth, but the whole point of it is like discovering it together, right? That's what kind of, you discover these things and these connections, you realize, holy shit, like everything is, it's all together.
It's all together.
It's never been separate. It's never been
The roots
one
of the
thing.
world tree Yggdrasil all go down to the same place.
Yeah, the one truth, like there isn't a single, I mean, it's just our nature to box things so that we can understand it. That's why we need the archetypes. Like it helps understand, but then sometimes people get too lost making that myth the archetype rather than trying to use different archetypes to try and explore the myth, I think.
So one person or one character can inhabit or embody many archetypes over time. They're not stuck just being an anti-hero or the father or the wizard or the devouring mother, right? Humans evolve, and archetypal characters also evolve, and they will move through different archetypes as they progress as people, as they integrate, as we like to say. And I think that's one place where we get caught up as an audience sometimes, is we peg people as being an archetype, and they're stuck there, and they become a trope, which is like a reduction of archetypes into not great things. And the tropism kind of kills archetypes, and that's where we want to keep things, again, moving. Myth is movement, and anytime that it stops and becomes formulaic or is arrested, that's when we don't like it so much. That's what I think.
Yeah. No, I can agree with that.
So, I'm just looking at chat here.
There's one question that was a while back.
Oh,
too,
yeah,
that was
yeah.
kind of cool. It's like, what myths do you believe are, like, name a few myths that you think are underutilized, specifically from what era and what culture? Oh, would you like to see?
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, that's a fun can.
Yeah. So I'm really tired of the Greeks.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to do it anymore. I really, really like the Mahabharata and the Ramayana.
That's a good one, yeah.
I really like them. The Ramayana I have issues with because Sita kind of gets like the bad end of the stick. Oh yay! Tree Skylark.
There it is.
Sub for 6 months. Yay! I mean, for a 6 month. Yay! For a 6 months. We'll give that an affirmation. Tree Skylark. Why don't we get sounds from
The fall is so good. I was just talking with somebody about how the music just makes me cry and how Lee Pace just makes me cry all the time.
Oh yes. So thank you for
So
the
amazing.
resub. Look at that resub hype in there. For Tree Skylark. And for that, you get an affirmation, so I hope you're ready. So Tree Skylark, you are a bodacious, smiling echidna.
Oh.
Someone's asleep at the wheel, QQ.
This is the lovely test. This is what it's for. Hey, over here. Hey.
So thank
Oh my
you so
God.
much for that. You're an echidna who is bodacious.
And I'm going to go poke QQ about this for the rest of the night.
All night long.
Oh hey, you remember that time?
So what was the question that you were going to readdress?
I forget.
Oh,
written
it's
down.
myths you felt were underutilized.
Oh,
Yeah,
yes.
era and culture, yeah.
So I voted Mahabharata or Ramayana with the caveat that Rama's kind of a jerk too.
I would say, okay. I would say some of the weird and creepy myths from like Norway. You know what I'm talking
The
about?
old stuff.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like, cause I was hearing their concept of like Christmas with like 12 like dwarves that come and you have to like, it was weird and creepy and I liked it. So I would like to see more of that stuff. And even I think the witch from Coraline originates from somewhere up there too.
You should listen to Lore, the podcast. It's all about creepy stuff.
I probably should.
Yeah.
But I would like to see more of like Northern Europe.
It's like northern.
Yeah, northern Europe, and also some of the like Mongolian stuff is really cool too.
Yes. Oh my
like
gosh,
some of the stuff from.
I would love to see the nomadics or things that.
Oh, Vindalo just resubbed! Oh, and we're amazing people and we need to have a wonderful day too. Excellent, I like that.
So, I would want to hear stories from the Middle East. I don't hear anything from there.
Oh yeah,
You know what I
yeah.
mean? Like
I mean, we kind of get it a little bit in Final Fantasy.
Yeah, but still, like
the
that
whole concept of jinns and all that.
But there's something about deserts. Come on, like I would want to hear more. Not just Egypt. Egypt. I'm sick and tired of Egypt too because people just do stuff with that. And there's a lot of really cool stuff in Egyptian mythology that we don't talk about. But anything that digs out from somewhere that has a desert or it's like nomadic like the Mongolians, that would be cool. Oh my gosh, that's a different kind of...
Totally.
That's a lifestyle you don't do anymore.
Okay,
Settle
so
down.
affirmation for Vindalo for resubbing. Super awesome. So, Vindalo, oh yes, you are an exuberant, abiding nymph.
Oh.
Laura, what is the deal? Are you asleep? I can't see into the AV room right now to give you the laser eyes.
Can't throw Nerf guns at you.
Exuberant, abiding nymph. So I feel like it's like the nymph, but there it is. Late, Laura. You're late.
Assyrian, yeah, Sumerian stuff would be so creepy too. Yes. Oh man, yeah, Sumerian would be amazing.
And there's a lot of stuff from South America that is not Incan, Mayan, or Aztec.
Yes.
That is fascinating.
I think it's because we forget how big these countries are. Huge. You know, you talk about India, like you have so many stories and different poems, different ballads, just as much as any other culture, and people freaking forget. Same with China, like we don't look the same because you've seen how big that continent is, and also like you have to understand that all these stories are told orally for so long that there's gonna be so many different variations of it, and it's so cool, and we're missing. It's just like the fossil record for the dinosaurs. We're missing most of it. That diversity's gone or like lost somewhere, or we're just ignoring it. You know? Yeah.
And that's another danger of the monomyth is we miss what their contextual meanings were in their own cultures.
Yeah.
Which is super fascinating. Like, so you guys know, most of you know, that I did Peace Corps down in South America. I was in Ecuador. And part of my job there was doing ethnographic research and preservation. And so my mind was blown. I was hearing complex myths that had been shared across continents, because other indigenous peoples from North America would float balsa wood rafts down, and they had this whole circle of cultural exchange, which was fascinating and no one ever talks about. But I was hearing living myths that were like alive and running around in the rainforest with these people for the first time, and they were powerful and they were real. And it was the first time that I really realized that myth is alive and not like the Greeks, which is so dead. That myth is so dead. This was a living pantheon of beliefs that would shape and change and move with the people telling these stories. And I have never heard anything like it ever in the West.
Yeah.
And so I would love to get some of that here, because what it would do, one, it would help preserve their actual mythological structures so that they don't die out, because their original language is Quechua, which no one speaks anymore. It's rapidly declining. But the other thing is, it helps us expand our own consciousnesses and worldviews and become richer, more complex beings ourselves, which I vote for. That sounds like fun.
Also, like, I would want to feel what it's like to have a myth be alive. You know, that's why I like would want to go to those. I don't know why Ireland is so inviting. Why the Faroe Islands? Like, I want to go there because, like, why Iceland feels like the beginning of the world to me. Something primordial. You know, something living again. Because here it's like we have stories. We don't have a myth. We have folklore. Folklore's there, but it's a story trying to tell something. And it's not, like you said, alive. Because I would not be able to put my finger on it being alive.
Yeah. Well, and with living myth, there are stakes, right? It can get you.
Oh yeah. You gotta pay those offerings. They're just gonna dump garbage on you. You know, that kind of stuff. Like, give it the bananas, or else you're not gonna have a really good week. You're like, what do you mean?
And that's probably the most fascinating part, because we're used to saying stories are stories, and they're over there. But when a myth is alive, like, good things can happen, and bad things can happen.
India's like that too. Like,
what is
if you drop a book on the floor, like you're not like you have to like pick it up and like do this whole thing for good luck, and you don't touch books with your feet, and you don't wear gold on your feet because then you're not gonna have money in your life.
Oh, because you're treading. Yeah,
because you're treading on.
Or like when you're eating a bowl of
rice.
rice, you do not stick your chopsticks in because you are inviting the dead, and it's bad luck. You don't give clocks to people who are in the hospital. That's like another Chinese thing. Like, don't do that.
It's like whole concept of like what they call like the evil eye or Bodhisattva. Like you put a black dot somewhere where no one can see it, and if somebody is like, that bitch is so pretty, their face will turn black and everyone will know. Like it's like alive there. Like in India, you do not compliment a baby too much. Because it's considered bad energy. Like it's good to
invites.
say, oh, it's cute, but it's not good to say like, oh my god, your baby is so cute. Her skin is so milky white. Her hair is so like people will glare at you, because it's like it's like envy. You don't want to ever sound envious. The worst thing you can do.
Because Harold will come over here and like get that kind of stuff.
And when you like give gifts of money to people like at their wedding, it's always like with the money envelope has a rupee coin in it because it has to be an odd number. Like, it's just little weird things like that you become normal and you come over here and it's not
dies.
a thing. Like,
so
here,
it's something
like you tip somebody $50 or you give somebody $50. In India, it'd be 51 every time. It's always an odd number.
Yeah, because I was interested in like with you immigrating here from India, like what was it like to have that? Because that religion, like all the stories are just in your blood, like the gods resonate in your bones. But here, like when I was born here, so all the stories that I've heard were from my parents, but I feel when they came here, it died. The stories from China, like the when I went back to Hong Kong and I saw my uncle's graves, there was something about a graveyard carved into the mountains with 2 dragons guarding it. Like, that was alive. That mountain felt alive. The world still felt alive in Hong Kong, mind you, because all these beliefs still existed. Maybe like the temples that were there, the foo dogs that existed. You know, I went up to the Buddhist temples up there, and they were very different.
Yeah.
Holy shit, it was very different. Not trying to say like Buddhism is different here, like you're doing it wrong. There's a difference with the land. It feels alive, and it's so strange.
It's like, for me, the way I kind of justified it or rationalized it is I feel like it's people's belief that makes it alive.
Yeah.
Because for me, like I grew up in California, like hearing all this stuff, and then I moved to India when I was like 9 or 10, and I lived there for 10 years. And it is, when I first went there, I was definitely one of those like, that's silly type of people. Like, that's silly, that's ridiculous, that's silly. But over time, like, very quickly, like, that mentality started to change, and it's because it's other people's, like, you can't, there's places I've been there where you're just, like, you feel something. Maybe it's the energy from other people, maybe it's their belief giving it power, and sometimes, like, the city I lived in, Patiala, is actually home to a Sikh temple called Dukhnawar, and then people go and bathe in that water to try to, like, get rid of their sorrows or their pains, and so seeing people, like, the temple I go to every weekend, people who had traveled from like months and months and months and come here with like this intense belief that this was gonna fix like their back pain or the knee pain that they've been struggling with. That's kind of insane, and it does sort of, it changes you a little bit because you feel kind of like a douchebag or like an asshole for not even giving it a chance, I guess, when there's like not just 1 or 2 people, but a whole country of people that believe in it and respect it. Even if they don't believe in it, they respect it. And so you kind of gain that respect or even a little bit of that belief.
It's a Hong Kong question. I don't remember. I was 12. It was a very long time ago. It was really overwhelming. It was really amazing. I do want to go back. I saw something for 5th reel. Also, do we want to have myths so alive in our lives? I mean, it sounds a bit stifling. I don't know, because I haven't experienced it. That's why I don't know if it would necessarily be stifling, because I live, okay, in order, I don't do well with people. Rabbit power, go! And then it's an affirmation, always perfectly timed. I'm judgmental,
Thank you for these incredible stories. It's been amazing to hear about all these myths,
Yay!
folk tales, and superstitions from around the world.
It's read it so peacefully by a robot. I was like, oh, you're learning. This is weird.
For that donation, Thanis Fat. For that, you're gonna get an affirmation yourself, which is you are a fluffy, blurting octopus.
There you go, it's a little octopus.
So it's like
It's just that little awkward squiggle that happens too.
a fluffy, blurting octopus.
I forgot what it was I
adorable.
was saying. I was ended it on a really terrible note all the time, but I don't remember what I said before this.
You always get interrupted by affirmations.
It's fine.
It's like your deal.
It's fine. It's okay. Then you see like how bad this is like names and everything are gone.
So we're really close to wrapping up, but just in case you are currently just now joining us, this is Weekly Affirmations, a show about the exploration of indie and freeform games. So those are analog games, non-digital. I am the host Strix, and joining me today is ThatBronzeGirl and Stephanie. And today we're having a roundtable discussion with the community, which is you guys in chat, directly, about myth and games. And so far we've talked about all kinds of really cool things, actually. We've talked about various fairy tales, mythologies, the difference between them, Joseph Campbell, the monomyth, post-monomyth, Wonder Woman, comic books, archetypes and metaphors. Really, this could have been like a mythology tour.
Remember Paximo? I know this. We all know this already.
We talked
We're all
about
there.
Puritanism and the Greeks and representation. So it's been a wonderful conversation so far.
Yeah.
We have a few minutes left, so I want to make sure that we check on the questions that were tweeted to us earlier. Just want to make sure that we got to them.
Yeah,
So let me take a look here. So this one might be interesting. So how do you think myths can be incorporated into game design? And are there any examples of games that you feel did a good job with this? And I want to go back to Colossus.
Yeah, I was going to say, because that's kind of...
Oh, and Smite.
Great.
I need to talk
Oh.
about Smite. So Colossus was a good example. And I also think Scion, which I am writing for the second edition on now, was an RPG that actually did a really good job where you play the scions of actual gods. And they had pantheon structures, and that was really cool. Any other games you feel like did a good job with myth in particular?
Not that I can think of right now.
Okay, then.
Yeah.
So Smite.
We talked about a lot of them earlier.
Enslaved was interesting. It was the story of the Monkey King. And I have not seen a video game talk about the Monkey King with, like, in a way that referenced it without it being Dragon Ball.
You mean
Like Sayuki and stuff and
Hanamon?
everything.
Or like a different Monkey King?
Huh? Jishimon?
Okay.
Sayoge.
Yeah. Yep, different Monkey King.
Yeah, different Monkey King, the one with the crown, the Buddhist one. And like, Enslaved was there, like it was a very like post-apocalyptic world. It felt like the desert, felt like the journey, you know, and it was very different. I feel it didn't have the very Asian quality that people can't seem to let go about it, and it just told its story. It had the characters there, but it had you know, it was different in the right ways, I thought. I know that game didn't really do well, but like I loved what it was trying to do. I really loved what it was trying to do.
Yeah, unlike, I'm gonna go there, Final Fantasy IX Master, unlike Smite. So I play Smite all the time, at least once a week. So just for reference, like I play Smite a lot. But I would say if Smite was getting graded on like how well they did with mythology, they'd get like a C minus. So Smite is very interested in making gameplay fun, which is great because that's why you play games. But as far as writing nuanced characters,
Monkey Princess, that's cool.
they don't do so well. I also have some particular issues with how they do their art styles. I think they very much over-sexualize women, and there are for as many world mythologies as get covered, there's no black people at all, as far as I know. And there are many opportunities to, it's a game about myths from around the world. There are many opportunities to represent many different kinds of cultures and peoples. And it's either gets reduced down to like Asian people or white people. And I think Smite has a wonderful opportunity to do all kinds of really cool things with their characterizations and their art. And they've just kind of gone for the lowest common denominator. And again, I play Smite all the time and I like playing the game, but I think that there's definitely room for them to grapple with mythology in a more authentic way that wouldn't hurt the gameplay at all. It would actually make more people inclined
Understanding
to play.
as in the fact that they didn't look into what the character was, like how do you mean, like example of a character and why it was why it didn't work. Aww.
That's cool.
I have almost no knowledge of Chinese myths and zero knowledge on Indian myths. So having Steph and Bronze here is really eye-opening. Thank you. Strix talked Zach into playing Scion on stream.
Oh,
No.
definitely. Especially when second edition comes out, because I can point to my name and be like, I wrote this. Remind me who that was.
Oh crap.
It was Joe.
Joe
It was
Tripp.
Joe.
Sorry, I was like, oh my god. Sorry.
Joe! So, Joe, thank you very much for that comment. I'm really glad we got to talk about things that you hadn't discovered yet. That makes me very happy. So, you are a fresh, juggling raven. Laura, QQ!
There it is.
I need like a little button that just is wired into the AV room and I can just
plays it.
push it and it like shocks her. So she's like, oh, okay.
I'm smashed.
I'm over here like, oh, it'll play the sound for you. And she's like, no, it'll shock her. And then she'll play the sound.
Thank you for following this little
Thank you.
JF 101. Thank you so much. Hyper Rabbit Power, go!
Can I get an affirmation for Steph? And if I interrupted you again, know that I feel bad. Well, as much as a disembodied robot voice can. Hashtag neonut, hashtag interrupt Browns.
You know, if I get trolled, I just assume it's just love from the show.
It's love
It
from
pretty
chat.
much is. Like, can you like me? I can stay. This is fine. Everything's fine.
So, Steph,
Yes.
you are a faithful, shimmering Yeti.
It's a shimmering Yeti.
Was that the sound?
No. It's
Oh, I thought that was
it could
the
be.
sound.
What does a faithful, shimmering Yeti sound like?
What does a faithful shimmering Yeti sound like?
Chewbacca.
Chewbacca. Oh yes, Chewbacca.
Perfect.
It's perfect.
I was like, we're faithful.
Yeah, it is so shiny.
I saw a question really quick. What was it? The Age of Mythology series. I feel like it represents the gods really well. Have you guys heard of the Age of Mythology?
I've heard of it, and I have it. I was gifted it on Steam, but I'm a terrible person because I haven't played it yet.
I haven't played it yet.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
But now I will look into it.
It's a Wookiee noise.
Oh goodness.
That was good. Was that a person?
That was Laura QQ.
That was QQ, and then that was me just like going back at
Wait,
it.
Cutie, that sound came out of your mouth?
No.
Oh.
No.
Oh, she played a clip. I thought that was somebody
No.
like, doing that.
That would be talent. That would be talent.
I wish I could do that.
You wish you could do that?
I don't think I.
You could have just pretended. I would have believed you.
You just talk to birds. You just start learning how to do that in your throat.
I can't do it. I can roll my R's, but I can't do Chewbacca.
I can't roll my R's anymore. I can't. It
Maybe
sucks.
because you spliced your
I
tongue.
know. And I can't blow bubble gum. I tried. It's really hard. I have to learn how to do it again.
So that's what I think about Smite, Final Fantasy IX Master. And for example, it's just super easy that they could have done and they missed. So Aphrodite, right? First of all, she's just got like the that's fine, whatever. But they had made a skin for Aphrodite called Aphrodite, and they made her 70s with an afro, and they still made her a white woman. And you have to understand the Greeks weren't white. They were definitely brown, and it just would have been really nice to have just like one character skin that for Aphrodite that is literally Afroism, which is African American in origin, not be taken away and given to white people, and instead just have that be, oh, I want to play this black Aphrodite skin, and it doesn't hurt because these again are gods, they're archetypes. You could switch out the races and it would be okay in some instances where they are joke skins, like there are many joke skins in Smite. So that is where I could see that working. But as for talking about the archetypal backstory of the gods, it doesn't matter a whole lot because it's an RTS, but there are instances where like Ram, for instance, is this super built dude with like giant pectorals, and like if you look at the traditional art depicting Ram, he doesn't look like that, and that's where this Western fantasy impulse came in to go, well, he's a god, so he must be like really super muscly. And And we actually see that problem with a lot of
I would
the
like
gods
to
in
see a
Smite.
Ganesha character, just a chubby elephant running around. That would
Dude,
give me
do you know, like, so I forget, I don't know if this was a true story, like, I took a Hinduism class a long time ago. There's one story that, like, really stuck with me. So when Ganesha was a little kid, he told his brother, the brother of war, right? Like, go run around the world. He dared him to run around the world. So while his brother's busy running around, he's just running around his mother. That's, like, that story stuck with me, because it's Ganesh. And then how he lost his head is kind of funny. You're like, oh,
his dad chopped it off.
Oh, no. Well, it's like, Shiva, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Like it's a parenting. They were like, oh, but an elephant. It's like, oh.
My favorite is like how Ganesh lost his tusk.
How? Yeah.
Tell the story.
So Ganesh went to, and remember, this is like from my like 5th grade class when I lived in India. So hopefully it's correct.
Yeah, exactly. Like running around the mom thing. I'm like, is that true? But it's still such a cute image. You're like,
yeah.
oh.
So this is the elephant head version of little Ganesha. Little Ganesha. So he went to a wedding. So like one of my favorite stories ever. And it was probably some famous person's wedding. I don't know. And he ate way too many laddus. I don't blame him, because laddus are like the bomb. Like, I could probably eat like 14 laddus. So imagine little elephant Ganesh, he probably ate like 40 laddus, right? And when he was walking home, he tripped and fell and his belly popped and all the laddus went rolling everywhere. And he was pretty distraught about this. So he started gathering the laddus together and trying to tie his tummy back with the snake. And the moon, the bitch-ass moon punked him and started laughing at him. And Ganesh is like, what the fuck, bro? I'm like having a moment right now. So he broke off his tusk and like threw it at the moon. And the moon was like, oh shit, no. And that's why the moon has craters. And that's why Ganesh has a broken tusk. I don't blame him. If I was punked by the moon, I'd throw my tusk at the moon.
I think your retelling was like a lot better than the
kid is having a hard time. He just lost all of his laddus.
Bro, why are you laughing
Why
at
are
me?
you laughing at him? You're a freaking bitch. Moon's a douchebag, man. He deserves those scars. I'd give him another scar.
Oh man, you're definitely coming back to this show.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think we probably need to start wrapping up our discussion today. Any last notes from you guys?
I had a great time.
Yeah,
Thank you for having
This was
me.
great. I was really excited about this, like the entire week. I remembered this from the weekend. I remembered Monstrous too, by the way.
Yes,
I did remember the important things.
Is Monstrous.
Yeah. So this was fun.
Okay, so
Yeah.
you guys know how we round out the show.
Yes.
We'll take a brief moment to discuss what we discussed. I thought it was a really great conversation. I love the points that chat brought up. I think everybody here added something unique and of value. So thank you both so much for coming out. We do this thing where we each say one thing that we liked about at least one other person. So, Bronze Girl, I was gonna do something else, but that last Ganesh story was like...
that was great.
It's my favorite. So thank you for telling that. That was really awesome.
Yeah. I'm glad you're here for slander for when it's necessary. And I'm always glad you're here.
Aww.
I'm always glad you're here. And chat too, for a place to actually talk, have different opinions, and just talk and not fight about it, which I'm really, really glad. I'm glad we have that.
Yeah, we're good at not fighting, and by we I mean you guys.
Yeah.
We as a community are really good.
Because you guys handled it for sure, and you throw out really good questions to talk about. You even discussed it amongst yourselves when we were doing all the things and headbutting mics, so good job. Good on you guys.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So that is, I think, the discussion for now. Next week, I haven't quite decided what we're gonna do yet. I know at some point we're gonna get to the next roundtable subject, which is romance in games and out of games, because that's a thin line. So that will probably be our next roundtable.
I'll be back to talk about Persona waifus. No, I'm just kidding. And how they're all assholes. Those bitches.
Yes, positivity and great feelings. Hey. So up next, guys, is Death from Above. It's the show about mech warriors, what Steph and I are both on, where I doff this persona of positivity and embrace the persona of feminine badassery, which is totally different. It's a totally different person. It's not me, it's someone else. And Steph likes to jump and smash things, which is
the same
super
thing.
cool. And again, it is Free Key Friday, which means anytime you subscribe today, someone's getting a key. Hyper Rapper Power, go!
Note to self, don't punk bronze, hashtag Aries protect me.
Well, when the food falls out of her
I'll throw
belly,
my
don't
tusk
laugh
at
at her.
you.
Yeah, obviously.
I'll
She's
throw
having
it
a
at
moment,
you.
don't laugh.
If I lose all my laddus,
So, we're gonna give this last affirmation, and then I'm gonna read our last tweets of the day, and that will be the show. So, Damoon rules. You are a mysterious, capering dragon.
You didn't drop the ball in the last one, maybe-ish last one.
No, she totally got it. We're good. Good job, Laura QQ. So, you're a mysterious, capering dragon. I hope that you feel affirmed. Before we do our outro, hold on 1 second, Laura. We're gonna read some tweets.
Yeah.
Some hashtag GameFeels tweets.
Woo, hey!
Friend Computer welcomes a new
Subscription,
bumper.
thanks for dreaming revenge.
Science.
Oh wow, it's a sub!
Cool.
Yeah! Sub hype, guys. Let's see it.
You've affirmed chat with a Steam key. So, there you go.
It was-
and because of it,
What was their name?
Dreaming Revenge. Dream Revenge.
Dream Revenge.
Dream Revenge?
Excellent.
Wow, I read it and I don't remember it.
So, Dream Revenge.
There you go,
thank
Dreaming
so much for
Revenge.
signing. Yes, Dreaming Revenge. I love that name too. Look at all that sub hype. So, welcome so much to our community. We're so glad to have you. And you are a spicy, conquering gecko.
You know what baby croc alligators sound like? When they're like calling for the mom.
Oh, yes.
That's what I imagine.
A spicy
Little
one,
one.
though. And conquering, so it's like
So it has to purr at the same time?
chirp, 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 chirp. Yes. All right, so we have from Void Smoker, weekly affirmations. You get to learn about so many creatures. Hashtag Pegacorn.
Yeah.
With some really awesome fan art, which I'm gonna retweet. JP Beltran
Always.
says, Game Feels, thank you for a super thoughtful discussion. I lost track of time.
Yeah.
Hashtag Game Feels. Toadcoder says, affirmations for the Matrix. Game Feels for the Rabbit Throne. Yes, I like it. Oh, that's right. Oh, we have 1 minute. Okay. You guys get to add one card to the Matrix.
Oh, what?
So I don't
Shit.
have the actual cards in front of me because Ryan didn't get them. But I want you to write down for me either a regular adjective, like spicy, an adjective ending with an ing, like conquering, or a mythical creature of some kind slash animal.
okay.
So, what are you gonna pick?
Oh, man.
Both of you get to pick one.
Okay.
How do I know what's already in there?
You don't. I'll tell you. I have a magical memory.
You do?
As in I don't. But
It's so magical.
so while you're thinking of that, Pastor Recoil says, thanks for the great discussion today. And he names all three of us. Hashtag Game Feels. Thank you for that. So that's our show today, guys. What is our words? What's our words?
I feel like mine just should be salty.
Salty. Done. Salty has been added to the affirmation matrix.
That's your legendary creature, Neckbeard.
Bronze neckbeard.
And then, Steph, what is your word?
I have to think about this one.
Do it quickly.
Do it quickly.
We have like 30 seconds.
Quickly?
Quickly.
There's already Sleipnir. Oh, God.
There is not
damn.
a Sleipnir.
What, really?
No, there's not.
You have a Sleipnir, salty
Yes!
Sleipnir.
The eight-legged horse, which maybe
Came from Loki.
got freaky with, we're not sure.
Poor Loki. He just, well, he does all the things and all the things happen to him. Entertaining lifestyle.
All right, so we are adding Salty and Sleipnir to the affirmation matrix this week. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Again, Death from Above is up next, and now we are ready for the outro. Bye, guys. See you next week. Ta-ta! Have a great weekend.
Thanks for joining.
Hey.
Super awesome.
Play that song.
Leprechaun's in there because Rai Rai is in there.
Play that song.
What's it, a
There it
weekly
is.
affirmations, a positive feel-good show. The most positive thing on this channel called Hyper Rabbit Power Go. It's pretty decent.
Pretty decent.
Bye, everybody. Have a great weekend. See ya.
Bye.
Take